Hello and welcome to the MFDL Season 5 Power Rankings VOD. Today we're going to be going over all 16 of the teams in Season 5 of MFDL. It will be myself, Gentle, league owner and last season's winner, and two guest coaches who are not from the community but have draft experience. And the first one that I'd like to talk to is Logan. Logan, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and maybe talk about
Hi,
your experience.
hi. I'm Logan. I've played VGC and Draft League for about the last 2 years, mostly singles draft, maybe 3 or 4 VGC drafts, but pretty consistent playoff finisher, and I have 6 chips to my name, 6 draft wins.
Very cool. Thank you for being here. And we also have our second guest coach, whose name is Jack. Jack, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, talk about your experience.
Yeah, excited to be here. My name is Jack. I also go by Pikatrod online. I've been playing mostly singles draft like Logan for the better part of. Let's go with 6 or 7 years. No, let's go with 6 years. Um, that just slipped out. But yeah, I usually am able to make it to playoffs. Drafted a lot of different guys. Have gotten into VGC draft within the last year and a half, and excited to talk about everyone's teams.
Do you want to talk about any of your placements or?
Um, I'm trying to think. I think what the last VGC draft we did, I was top 4 out of 16.
Okay.
So that's
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
pretty good. I've
solid.
won a couple here and there, but VGC wise.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a
solid.
boss move, many would say.
Many are saying this. All right,
I'll take
so just to briefly go over our grading scale, we are not using a points system. We're not using it like we're not checking off boxes. I've tried to make those systems work, and frankly, I just think it makes for worse content. Um, so for today's grading scale, we will just be using an S through C scale. None of the teams, at least that I know of, are bad enough to call D tier. But if it existed, D tier would be the actively negative, like actively bad teams. S tier is probably not getting filled, but we'll see. A tier is for the like really good teams, really great teams that like have minor flaws but are really just not going to hold their coach back at all. A is for very competent teams, very good teams, like teams that you would expect to see in playoffs. B is for like B plus is for like the slightly above average teams. You know, like the teams that most people will draft. I mean, B plus will almost certainly be the most populated tier. It's for good teams that have serious flaws in some way. Either they got sniped on an important pick or they're missing important tools. B is for teams that are a little worse than the B plus teams and they're a bit more average. They're missing out on something really important to their game plan, or they're missing out on like pieces that would improve their game plan. And then C is for like C plus is for teams that are kind of, I don't know, man. I see what you're going for, but it didn't really get executed all the way. It's usually just like a lack of execution. It's like, you got this Pokemon, but you didn't get the guy who partners well with it. And then C tiers for teams who are just like, we don't. There's really not much to say besides it's mid. Yeah, it's mid. All right, so we will be taking turns going first. I will always be going last to introduce as little bias as possible, but we will be starting with Logan going first and then Jack going first on the next team, and we'll be going back and forth doing that. So, Logan, if you want to go ahead and get us started and talk about Raz's team.
Yeah, so Raz here has Annihilate as the S tier with Mega Aggron and Mega Greninja, which it's a pretty interesting core. We have a variety of speed tiers, as you can see. We have some potential Trick Room options and some fairly strong Trick Room abusers. No Tailwind in terms of speed control on that end, but both Ninetales and Greninja get Icy Wind. I believe Morpeko fake out no Electro Web. Victor, can you confirm this?
Let me open Showdown and check real quick. I believe it has Electro Web. I think there's really not that many electric types that don't get Electro Web. One of them
I
being
assume that it
like main
would, but for
Trick.
some reason it just like wasn't calling to me as an Electro Web guy.
I
I know it
kind
gets.
of
No, it doesn't get Nuzzle.
It
Okay,
does get
it doesn't get Nuzzle, but it does get
it
Electro
does get
Web.
Electro Web.
okay.
Does it get
So you don't
Scary
have
Face? And you get Scary Face. Anyways.
yeah. You don't have too many things in terms of like immediate pressure tailwind speed control, but you have options there to make things work. You have a couple of very viable Scarfers and like Armor's Diggersby, Ninetales Annihilate. So I feel like it's a very balancy kind of thing, able to make things work as needed. What do you think, Jack?
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I think the speed tiers to me are interesting because you have a couple of really fast guys. The Mega Greninja most notably, the Ninetales definitely is a great Icy Wind guy. And as a whole, the team is more centered around Trick Room, which means that like the no Tailwind isn't the biggest issue. Honestly, a thing it like obviously I'm gonna say this a million times, but obviously there are restrictions on what you could draft. With Annihilate, I feel like, and with Annihilate and Aggron, the thing I wish was here that I don't see is some sort of redirector.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that could really elevate the team. For now, I like a lot of the synergies that I see, but certainly also see like little things that I would pick at.
Yeah, one
This.
of the things that I noticed originally is like barring Armarouge Wide Guard, this team really struggles with like a Heat Wave plus Earthquake or even potentially like a Disquake spam. And so having Armarouge be like arguably one of your bigger hitters in the team in the Trick Room mode and potentially requiring to go more of a supportive set to prevent that from happening could pose some troubles.
Hmm. Just something to note. This team did originally have Ariados over Morpeko, so I guess it would be a question of if you value Fake Out or Redirection more.
That's
And I
interesting.
guess yeah, it's a toss up. I feel like it's a personal preference kind of thing. It
Hmm.
depends on
This team also
the
used to
player and the
have
play style.
it used to have Rotob Wash instead of Aggron Mega, so it was a very different team at that time. But
I
yeah.
think I do like the Aggron Mega pickup here just for the additional threat to the slow mode. It feels like you could bring Gren for immediate threat, go into Trick Room after, or Trick Room first, have Gren for when it's ended, but having something that can really take full advantage of the Trick Room while it's active, I think was a good call.
Hmm.
I agree, and I also just like the fairy resistance. Without Aggron, your fairy resistance is Armarouge, which is fine, but it's I don't know. Aggron adds a little bit of meat to that, which is nice.
Yeah, especially with 4 fairy weaknesses.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. the Wall, notably a very meaty guy.
Yeah, I'm sure it is well known, but I love Aggron. This is my favorite guy. Mega not necessarily, but favorite guy. Yeah, I agree with a lot of what was said. Something I would like to point out that I don't think was mentioned is that there are 0 ground immunities with a team that has Diggersby, so you won't really be able to use like Earthquake very well, which is it's not like a deal breaker, but it is just not what you want with Diggersby. Earthquake's one of its best moves. Not being able to use it just kind of suck. Um, I also think it's notable that this team drafted multiple ways of hitting Annihilate for the thing. Morpeko lost Beat Up in Champions. It had it in Gen 9, I believe, or at least in Gen 8. I don't know if it had it in Gen 9, but it lost Beat Up, and that sucks. But you still get Icicle Spear, Ninetales, or Water Shuriken, Greninja as ways to activate Annihilate, and they can also Icicle Spear with Ninetales can also be used to activate Weak Armor Armarouge if you decide that you really need that in a week. So you can go full like really cheesy mode with this team. Highly doubt that ever comes, but it is funny. What other things? Oh yeah, for the Trick Room core, specifically Hydrapple covers Aggron well because it's able to deal with the ground types that Aggron is really afraid of pretty comfortably. But also it has Pollen Puff, so it can heal up Aggron, which is I think like a really valuable trait on an Aggron team. Is always you need like a cleric type Pokemon that heals them, and I think Hydrapple does the job fairly well even on the fast mode.
Yeah, having Drapple be in that perfect speed tier where like by default it is slower than Aggron in the Trick Room, but if you wanted to make it be a little faster, you could have that be the
Hmm.
case without too much investment.
Yeah, or you could just go like minus nature Aggron, neutral nature Hydrapple with 0 investment and still get there.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so what ranking are we thinking for this team, guys?
Logan, do you want to
Ooh,
give your first?
Let
in
me pull the team
my
up. This one.
original ranking, I think I had it a little bit lower than where I'm going to have it here. I think I hadn't considered the Pollen Puff option, which makes it definitely a lot better in my eyes for the Aggron. I think that's a significant piece for teams like this to have that little bit of healing, both for the Aggron and the Annihilate. I think things may shift around as we end up placing different teams throughout. But from what I remember, kind of prepping for this, I'd probably put this in like C plus kind of range, maybe as high as B.
Okay, so Logan's thinking right around here. What are you thinking, Jack?
I was thinking similar. I was willing to go with B plus B for all the reasons we said. I think obviously our ratings are not reflective of how the team is going to perform.
Oh yeah, we're not ranking the coaches, and that's a big
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Very, very clear, but still want to say it out loud.
Fair enough.
But I feel like my inkling is to go the BB plus range, so I'm happy to meet Logan around like B-ish.
Yeah.
I'm happy with B for now.
In my notes, I have a mid B plus tier or low or high B tier, so I think I'm also okay with this. I think if we average those out, it'd probably be right around the middle of B. I think it's fine.
Yeah,
I think decent is probably the word
C
for it.
plus, and given everything, I'm happy to meet you in B.
The thing is, like, I think none of the pieces are perfectly supported. Diggersby wants, ground immune partners. Armarouge really wants like a more, what's it called? Like a good like slow fake out user for setting up Trick Room. Ninetales really wants like a fast, powerful attacker that isn't ice, like using ice moves, because like yeah, double blizzard is funny, but like usually you pair Ninetales with something like a strong fire type that's fast, but Armarouge just isn't fast enough. But like yeah, if you're looking at the team's individual pieces, none of them are perfectly supported, but they're all supported well enough, I think, to say B tier.
Yeah, and there are a lot of like strong, not the most inherent synergies, but definitely like what you're saying about like what boosts up Rage Fist, the Pollen Puff for the Aggron, the different Trick Room modes, the Wide Guard with the Diggersby. Like,
Also, I think
there are a lot
are there
for.
3 Pokemon that learn Ally Switch on this team?
I
I don't remember if
Cough
Greninja gets
does.
it. Cough,
Armarouge does.
Arma definitely do. I just think Greninja does.
I think it's
Um,
on the dock.
I
Greninja
think
does
it's
not. Based
two,
on the
yeah.
dock.
Oh,
Armarouge
never
and-
mind. Okay, well, still 2 is funny.
There's your redirector.
I mean, it's actually kind of real with Kofagrigus plus Aggron, like nice fighting move.
Oh, I would say so for
Yeah.
sure.
All right.
It's terrifying. Yeah.
You could also
Like-
get a
like you
random
said-
flash fire boost the same way.
Yeah, like you said, not all the most obvious synergies necessarily, but they found kind of like really interesting alternatives that I think could do well.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be the easiest team to use. I think you're gonna have to put in like a higher than usual amount of effort to make it work, but it'll be good. It'll be decent, I think is the right word for it. All right, we're moving on to Funky's team, starting with Jack this time.
Yes, I personally really like Funky's team. I personally really like teams that look like Funky's that are very balancy. There's a lot of different support options. The typings are very well laid out. You have your fire, water, grass. Granted, your fire's Delphox, but like you have your fire, water, grass. There's no inherent. To me, there's no inherent like there's no inherent typing weakness when I look at all these guys. A lot of the Pokemon are very well supported. Blastoise Sinistra is a great pairing to put together. With the Mega Blastoise, you also have that double fake out in addition to Blastoise with Raichu and Scrafty. The speed tiers are also, the speed control is also really nice. You have a couple very slow guys. You have Tailwind on Corviknight and Altaria, and you also have really fast Greninja. The one thing that I personally would wish for this team was a little bit more immediate power. Right now, the immediate power, I mean, Blastoise is a strong Pokemon. Then you have like Greninja if you want to put a life orb on it. You can make these guys hit harder, but right now it feels like a very like you need to give it a turn to get the Blastoise, or maybe you're setting up Scrafty or you're setting up Altaria.
Yeah, there's really not a standout stat, I would say. Like you're saying, Mega Steelix is the strongest physical attacker at 125, but it's very slow. You really want to have the Trick Room up, and Blastoise is really your main immediate power threat on the special side, given
Right.
Given Gren at 103, Delphox 114, they're not necessarily the most obvious immediate threats on that end.
No, I totally agree. I think the immediate power is like the team has a little bit of wanting in that regard, but I really like the kind of the way the pieces all fit together. Logan, what do you think?
No, I agree. I really liked this team when I first saw it. You've got like you said, it's a very balancy core. You can kind of play a tail room style. You could play just fake out redirection, no speed control at all, and it gives you a lot of flexibility into the different matchups that could come up over the course of a season. And I wasn't, I don't know if I would say hating, but I was doubting Delphox a little bit, but as the D tier pickup for this team, I think it adds something that it was really looking for. Like in
Yeah.
terms of the D tiers, Delphox has a lot of great coverage. It's a relatively strong fire type, relatively fast as well. And yeah, given the other options in that tier, I think it rounds out this team about as well as you could have, which I think is really valuable for the low tier picks.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about Mega Altaria? Because I feel like I've gone back and forth between like really liking it on this team and being like, I wish it was something that hit harder.
Hmm. Well, I feel like Mega Altaria, if Return was still in the game, like
Yeah.
really would have loved to be on this team, right? With the double fake out with the redirection, that thing hits like a truck on those Dragon Dance sets. But now I think you just get the body slam, right?
It does still have double edge.
Body slam, double edge, you kind of don't want to be wearing yourself down, but with the Sinistra, it's not the biggest issue, truthfully.
The worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly.
I think it's a really interesting tech piece, and I think it still does have that hyper voice. So it's in the nature of draft have like it's a very flexible piece. I think it's pretty strong on
Yeah.
this team. Nice middling speed here, and the secondary tailwind option is nice as well in weeks where you don't want to bring Corviknight.
Mm-hmm. I think I have similar thoughts on what you all said. I think the balance score is really good. I don't really like Altaria, to be honest. I think it's kind of just okay. But my main issue with Altaria is mostly that you already have a Mega that is a special spread attacker. So there's like a lot of situations where you'll have like Altaria and Blastoise, and they just do very similar things, and like of like clicking the high damage spread move. So it's like most of the time you're gonna be leaning Blastoise. That is your that's your big guy, that's your big A tier that you're using for damage output. And I don't think that's like a huge issue, but it does make it like Altaria might not come as often as it would on another team.
Yeah.
I also think
one thing that if I can interject for a second, one thing that I will say about the dual spread attackers, it's actually a pairing that has seen a lot of success, I think, so far in the formats, like Zard plus Floette, Floette plus Delphox, even like a Zard Rain team is kind of like a lot of big special attackers. If our Chaladon's almost like a second Mega on that team, right?
no, for sure, for
And so
sure.
I think with your kind of high tiers being Blastoise, Corv, both not loving to like Blastoise weak to electric and grass, Corviknight being weak to fire and electric, Altaria resisting all of those, and also having the supportive pieces of like Sinistra and Raichu, like
Yeah,
outside
yeah.
of just the Altaria, it has its weaknesses covered very, very well. And I think it makes a lot of sense to maybe see the Altaria come into like that kind of
Like a Sun team.
I guess you would call it like the elemental trio plus electric if a team is very strong on that end.
The
Altaria
starter
might work
typings, the
better
starter
than
typings.
Blastoise. Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I don't disagree. I mean, I think a Dragon type Mega does pair well with Blastoise. I've seen that combo in a couple of different leagues. Dragon type plus Blastoise does work very well. I don't like hate Altaria. I guess I wish it was a better like a Fairy type in its base form, so that you could use Fairy type plus Blastoise or Fairy type plus Corviknight. It'd be nice, but not required. I think the low tiers are pretty solid. I don't know how often Steelix comes realistically because it's very similar to Corviknight in role. In terms of being like a steel type with body press, and it takes your mega slot, and you already have two pretty solid mega contenders outside of it. But Blastoise is actually really useful in its base form, thanks to like Fake Out, Flip Turn, Icy Wind, Yawn. It has so many good support options that like, you can like not mega your Blastoise and then have like a good Pokemon still, even without an item. So I think at the very least, Steelix is like able to come for that reason.
Yeah, I think
I
one
wish
thing
we
that this team
had.
wouldn't-
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, yeah. One thing that this team might not love to see as well is actually like, in my opinion, a sand team. Like Altaria doesn't love to see the Excadrill. Blastoise doesn't want to get chunked out before it can get off its water damage, even though it is super effective into like the Excadrill, the Tyranitar. And
I
if you
mean,
can get that Trick Room set up with the Steelix in the back, Steelix kind of just runs through a lot of a lot of Sand Cores with the Sand Force and with its defense being as high as it is.
I mean, yeah, I think that's a fair assessment, but I also don't think like there's one Sand team, and like there can be multiple with Hippowdon, but like right now at least, the only one drafted is like a Titar Exca, so it's like, at least in my opinion, I don't know if using an entire pick on that matchup that I don't think is that bad. Like I see what you're saying, I just think that Blastoise Sinistra is already super strong into Sand, so I don't think you really needed another pick that's even better into Sand.
Oh yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah, just in terms of the body press as well, like Steelix
Oh no, it hits way
I-
harder for sure.
It's almost a double power compared to Corviknight, so I think it's a meaningful.
Actually, I think
amount
it is.
distinct
I think it
defense.
is double power because it's 230 defense
Steelix, when fully
versus.
invested, hits
105.
310 defense, and Corviknight hits 172. So Corviknight's just
Okay,
a little
just
bit
a-
less than half as powerful, but that's
Yeah.
quite a bit more still.
No, but it is. I'm just saying, like, if you're choosing in the team builder,
It's an entire pick on it.
yeah,
which is meaningful.
if I have my steel type body press guy in my team builder and I only bring 6 Pokemon to the match, am I bringing Corviknight or am I bringing Steelix? I think the answer is usually Corviknight because Corviknight's just more versatile.
I'd have to
I
agree there.
also
I wish
also
we had
think-
better Tailwind. That's my big note with this team because like I don't think Corviknight's bad Tailwind. I just think that like Blastoise really likes a fast Tailwind guy who can just make it nuke things with Water Spout turn 1, and you just straight up can't do that with this team, and that's kind of unfortunate.
I
Like,
agree with that too. Yeah. I feel like this team, if it didn't have so many support options, we'd like pick apart the support options it did have better. Like
yeah,
I feel like Sinistcha is like not the number one. Like Sinistcha's a pretty good guy and a pretty good Trick Room guy, but not the number one Trick Room guy.
yeah.
And Dwarf's like not the number one Tailwind guy, but like
Yeah, there are multiple Tailwinds in Trick Rooms, which helps a little bit, because like if in a particular matchup Delphox matches better into their team as a Trick Room setter, you can do that, and if Altaria matches better as a Tailwinder, you can do that. So there are those things, but you know, still wish we had better options for both of those. I agree.
yeah.
Okay,
I
so were we? Oh, sorry. You have more
Oh,
to
I
say?
was gonna say the only other thing that I feel like might be worth mentioning is that this is the first of I think a bunch of teams that are triple megas,
Mm-hmm.
which I think I personally am a little mixed on how I feel about a triple mega team, but here because of all the support options and the support options feel very like splashable onto whatever build you want to do, and the support options can flex into something a little more offensive. I feel fine about it here in this build.
Yeah, my thing with megas is that I think you can have 3 megas just fine as long as I mean, there's 2 requirements. Ideally, one of them is a mon that you don't have to mega for it to work just fine. I think Steelix kind of fills that role, where it's like Sheer Force Steelix is going to be fine a lot of the time. You don't need to mega it for the extra attack, because Sheer Force will provide a lot of the damage output with like Iron Head and Rock Slide. So like having a Pokemon that doesn't really need to mega, I think, is a big one with 3 megas, and having a Pokemon who is solid in its base form, ideally one, but ideally both. So if like Blastoise, like I was saying, I think is a pretty solid Pokemon in its base form. So if you end up not megaing it, that's probably not a huge issue. Why are we skipping forward? No, we're still talking about Funky's team.
No, my bad.
It's okay.
Uh,
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. But yes,
The only other thing of note for me in terms of the megas is I think like you want each of them to be really well supported, and like you said, this team support is very flexible. But
Mhm,
in a league where you're locked to exactly 9 mons, I think it's a lot more difficult than in say like if you had the option of 10 or 11. I think 3 megas becomes much more reasonable
mhm.
compared to in the 9 mon draft.
Yeah, I think in this case, I would probably say it's like it's a net neutral for me, because like sometimes triple mega can be a net positive. I think we'll see a couple examples of teams that have like triple mega where one of them is very obviously never clicking the mega button and is just doing that to get a cheaper version of the Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I think those are the types of teams where it's like triple mega is fine, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that's a fair thing. Where do we want to rank this one, guys? Where are we putting this guy? Let me grab his team.
I
Which one
feel
is it? Is it
comfortable.
this one?
I feel comfortable like since I'll start out. I feel comfortable giving it an A+. I personally think it's really, really great and obviously has those spots to grow. I would also be okay if this ended up in A as just like a very good team. We did point out a lot of things where we're like, maybe this could come back to bite Funky in the butt, but I do really like the flexibility, but also like the strength of the team composition.
Mm-hmm. It is nice
Yeah,
that not any one of the mons has a singular set. I think like everything here has like 3 or 4 different viable sets.
Mm-hmm.
Besides maybe
I
Scrafty.
100% agreed. It's a very versatile set of mons. Honestly, I think Scrafty could be argued to
Yeah, it does have Moxie Dragon
like
Dance
you
if
have
you
like
want
a
to get like
supportive set,
funky.
or maybe like a Life Orb Trick Room set, or even with this team and the support that it has, I could see it maybe running a Dragon Dance.
Yeah,
approach
like
in
Moxie
some
Dance or like Shed Skin
Moxie
Rest
Dance,
Dance.
or even like bulk up Shed Skin. Like
Yeah,
there are
for
ways
sure.
that this can really be made to work in a variety of ways.
Does Altaria still have Heal Bell? You do a really funny like rest.
Is Heal Bell still in the game? This is my question.
Oh, I don't know if it is.
Aromatherapy?
I know if Aromatherapy's in the game. Heal Bell's only on
Heal Bell is
Chimecho.
only on Chimecho,
Okay. Anyways.
Oh, I don't think Altaria has it.
where would you rank this team, Logan?
Honestly, if we're saying an S tier team is amazing with a couple of nitpicks, I feel like the criticisms I have of this team, I would almost consider them nitpicks. Like, it's very balanced, it's very versatile. There's nothing on this team where I would say like I don't understand what it's doing here. I think everything serves a purpose and has a role and a matchup that I could see it performing well into. So, like we're saying, S is not necessarily a perfect team, but
It's
I
close
I
to
don't know
perfect,
that you
yeah.
could have straightforward improvements to it without sacrificing something else. Like it makes use of the draft board value very well, in my opinion.
Mm.
So like for me, it's a high A plus, maybe even an S tier team.
So here's my thing why I don't want to put it in S. Something that we talked about at first, but might have been lost because we talked about a lot of other things. The team's natural damage output is not good. You do need to like set up or set up a condition of some sort like Rain Dance or Helping Hand or something to boost the damage output because the initial damage output is just straight up not good from these mons, and that's like the thing we talked about at first. Just going back to that, the attack stats are really not great across the board. Like the team's best physical attacker is probably Scrafty, maybe Corviknight. So it's like, or I guess you can go physical Altaria. I usually would go Hyper Voice, but like yeah, I don't think the physical offense is that great, and then the special offense is very centered around Blastoise and Sinistcha in terms of like raw output. So
Mhm.
that's the reason I wouldn't put an S. I think that like the damage output negation is like
Yeah, I think going back to that as the big reason, I would be happy with the A plus.
yeah. I think A plus is where I'd put it though. So yeah, I think this is fine. Okay, moving on. Matthew's team, if you want to go ahead and start us, Logan.
Sure. So we've got straightforward the dual mega pick as the S and one of the A tiers in Mega Metagross, Mega Venusaur.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is a duo that's has seen a lot of play together, but I feel like they do cover their weaknesses pretty well. I could see both coming most weeks as kind of two separate cores, two modes. Let me see if I can find my notes. In terms of the rest of the team, I think this is where I I struggled a little bit in terms of seeing the vision. I think both of these mons love some kind of speed control, and I think Mono Rotom isn't really enough on that end. Um, I also think Ninetales as one of the high tier picks isn't really optimal at all. Neither of your megas love to have that sun go up, and you don't typically want to be keeping your Venusaur in base form, at least like as one of your core strategies, as investing most of your high tier picks into it. I don't think it is the best way you could spend your points. You've also got, I believe, no Tailwind. I think Zard lost that a little while ago. And with Alakazam as the only Trick Room, I think that does just leave Rotom as your one speed option. In terms of speed control, you've also got no Fake Out, no Redirection, and no Ghost type, which leaves your only Fake Out immunity as Alakazam. So in a format with no Ghost Terra, no Covert Cloak, I think you're just really gonna struggle to get this team moving, even though some of the pieces like the Metagross, the Venusaur, the Raccoonid, and the Crocodile can be very powerful. I just don't think it has the tools to fully bring out their potential.
Mm. Jack, do you have anything to add?
Yeah. I think. What do I think? I think I actually. I'll talk about where I disagree with Logan a little bit. I actually think the Ninetales Venusaur could be really interesting. I like it as like a sun mode with Charizard. I like see the vision in that regard. I think Venusaur not being able to hold the Life Orb kind of hurts it. Um, but and excuse me if I don't remember my VGC history, but I think Mega Venu like being a sun guy and then Mega evolving a couple turns in was something that like whatever back in
It was really good in 2018, not so good in like Gen 6. In Gen 6 it did see play, but like the reason it was good in Gen 7 is because of the Tapus, and having a poison type on your team is really valuable versus Tapus. But in,
Yeah,
in
that makes
Gen
a lot of sense.
in Gen like 6, I think it was more just like Charizard by himself more often than not, or Charizard plus like Sash Vino. Uh, Also worth noting, those were CTS formats, so having the ability to bluff being like Sash or Life Orb before they know is like a lot more
Yeah,
valuable than in draft, where you'll know for sure that this Pokemon is gonna die to one fire move in the sun if they don't Mega, like that sort of thing.
this is true. Yeah, I feel like that's my main thing that when I heard the main thing responding to what Logan was saying, I think the no fake out immunity was something that I didn't think about that actually is noteworthy. I kind of wish this team had like a nice trick room setter. I like see the vision with speed swap Alakazam plus Psy spam with Metagross. Um, and I understand that Alakazam is also a trick room setter, but to get something,
With these defenses.
yeah, a little bit bulkier that doesn't have to hold the focus sash, so that at team preview you can make your opponent guess: are they running Ninetales plus Metagross or Ninetales plus Venusaur or like a completely different like Trick Room mode? Um, I think that would add a lot of strength to when you actually reach the battle. Um, the biggest, I think, worry I have for this sort of team is just the amount of variance that you're going to get when you hit the battlefield. Venusaur, if it's going to go for those fast modes, might be wanting to click Sleep Powder. Ninetales is going to want to be clicking Heat Wave. Rotom's going to be want to clicking Blizzard, and Ditto is just like very situational most of the time.
I'm a Ditto hater.
And so, hmm?
I'm a known Ditto hater. I hate this Pokemon.
You hate Ditto?
In draft, yeah, I don't think it's good in draft.
I
If
like,
if you have like a setup guy who loses to Ditto, just run the move Substitute and you will always win.
yeah.
It is a
That's
D
true.
tier
I
though,
mean,
in fairness.
I was gonna say even then you're forcing a setup guy to run substitute, which like isn't the worst thing in the world.
I guess Substitute's a really good move, but yeah.
Yeah. It's not substitute. Substitute will probably get used either way. Um, but that's kind of how I feel. In a lot of ways, I agree with Logan. There's like not a lot of support, speed support or otherwise, to get behind the bulk or the like attack of these hitters. Um, which which is tough. Which I think this team will want.
hmm I so
Um,
something I'd like to
for everyone to
mention.
run better.
So something I'd like to mention, I don't think was mentioned, is that when I was talking earlier with you guys outside of the recording about like how I do my tiering, I said like D tier is for teams that have active negative synergy. And my example for that is always a Sun team with 6 water types is like the thing because I have seen that before. Um,
Mm.
so like that's my example of like what a D tier team is to me. And then like F tier is like actively like not spending all your points in a points league. Like you spent like 10 points out of 100 or whatever. Like you're just throwing on purpose. But like
Mhm.
it's really hard to make a D tier team. Now let me walk through why I actually consider this team for D tier. I it's not D tier, but like I had the thought. Ninetales plus Araquanid, Rotom, uh, Venusaur, and like Aggron, or sorry, excuse me, wrong Steel type Metagross. That's so much
That run
anti
on fly.
synergy in terms of like mons who really don't want to be taking fire moves or really want to be clicking water moves. In the case of Araquanid, just taking a ton, like taking a lot away from your team by running Ninetales, and like it is a high tier, so you can say, oh, I won't bring it to the games of Ring Araquanid, but then you're down one of your high tiers, and that's always a bad thing. I think like having like because like the reason that Venusaur and Ninetales can pair well is that you have another Mega that like is really good and you want to use, but in this case it would be using Mega Metagross in the sun with your Ninetales and your Venusaur. So it's like, are we? I feel like there's a lot of anti synergy there that has to be explored. They're both Earthquake weak, making Metagross more weak to fire. They're both walled by water types. There's really not a ton of like synergy between them. I don't think, besides just clicking Helping Hand every turn. Um, I really don't like having no trick room mode in draft in particular. And like you guys mentioned the trick room setter, but for me it's not even just the setter, it's the speed tiers, dude. The speed tiers, because Ditto's speed tier isn't real. So realistically, you have one Pokemon that is slower than 80. I think that is like an unforgivable flaw. And like for all the good damage output this team is capable of, it's just not capable of responding to your opponent having flexible game plans. Like unless your opponent's
Yeah,
plan is to hit you as hard as you hit them, you're gonna struggle to deal with their support options. You don't have your own fake out or redirection or tailwind or really trick room. So
mhm,
it's like
yeah.
it's really hard to accomplish what you want to do without getting shut down by something. And something else I'd like to
Basically, any
mention.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I could, any team that just like leads fake out plus trick room will kind
Yes.
of win most times, which is a
Yes.
really unfortunate thing to have
They only back
in
foot.
a draft league where someone will prep for exactly your team every week, and they can just bring the one game plan that works pretty
Mhm.
consistently.
Mhm.
The other thing I'd like to mention is that not only Ninetales is a not good use of a high tier at this team, but I think because you have Ninetales, Araquanid isn't. I actually wouldn't mind Araquanid if it was just with Metagross and Venusaur on its own. That's actually not a bad combo at all. But because you have Ninetales, it's like I feel like these two are so anti-synergistic that you need to drop one. I also don't really like Ninetales plus Charizard. I think Charizard is good on some Sun teams, and I think like in particular Torkoal Sun teams really like Charizard. But like Ninetales Charizard, they're the same speed. They have roughly the same offensive power when you're not considering solar power. So like if Sun isn't up, for instance, roughly the same power, which is to say not very strong. Same speed tier, basically the same sets every week. I mean, Ninetales is like fake tiers and Snarl, but like for the most part, you're gonna be running the same moves. You know, 2 fire moves, Solar Beam, Protect, and then like it's not bulky at all. So like you can maybe get like 1 attack off next to Ninetales before dying to Rock Slide. I'm just not I'm not a fan, and I don't really get. I don't know. It's kind of the same thing as earlier with Diggersby. There is Rotom to click Earthquake with, and Charizard to click Earthquake with Krook. But I do wish that like we used some better picks on our Earthquake mode instead of 2C tiers that are situational, both of them.
I'm with you on all of that for sure.
Okay, so where are we ranking this team? If you want to take us away, Logan.
This team, the words I would use to describe it are I see the vision, but I think because of all of the kind of like actively detrimental elements about this team, namely the Ninetales, I think I might put it into the C tier for mid. But I think something as simple as just swapping out that Ninetales for
Anything
a
else?
supportive piece that has a little bit more synergy could bring this team way up. Because
Yeah.
having a stronger A tier would be a huge boon for this team.
I will say Arcanine Kanto is on the board, and that would be a really easy swap. That would like massively benefit the Venus or Metagross mode by adding like a consistent Intimidate Will-O-Wisp guy as a support. So like that's yeah, and then you swap Zard. Yeah. Or just like there's plenty of like solid Trick Room Mons or Trick Room Setters in C tier that you could grab. Or like even
I don't know if,
there's no cheap Tailwinds left. I don't think. I think all the Tailwind guys are dead. But unsurprisingly, it's kind of like Gen 8 where there's like, oh my goodness, I have to log back in.
There's still there's a couple Slow Kings on the board. I think I don't know if I can check really quickly if neither of them were drafted. I think either Slow
The
King with
Kings?
the Rotom is an interesting shout as well.
Yeah.
With little chilly reception action, and then
then you have a
having
way
that
to
as
click
a Trick Room
Blizzard.
guy as well. They're
Yeah.
pretty strong, and they could be Trick Room. They could be anti Trick Room. It just gives you a little bit more flexibility. So maybe if I can remind myself what our B tiers are here, like
It's a Crocodile and a
both
Araquanid.
and Crook look nice with this team.
Yeah, I mean if you change
wanted to
out
spec into a Trick Room mode, I could see that as a vision. Maybe there's a ground type in the C tier that could work over Crook, especially if you have like Arcanine as your intimidated option.
Yeah. But those are recommendations to change the team. If we're ranking it now, you would say it's C.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And then what would you say, Jack?
I feel similarly. I feel like I'd put it at like C plus, but I definitely see the C vision. I see the vision of the team, which is why I put it in C plus, but I also see the vision of like
So much anti-synergy.
yeah, anti-synergy. The speed tiers hurt me a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the speed, nothing under 80 is tough in like draft specifically in a way that like I don't know. On ladder you can kind of like I'm just gonna click protect through the Trick Room. Like it's tough in draft.
Yeah. I think for me, I would probably put this team in like the very bottom of C plus, maybe top of C. I don't know if there's a worse team. I guess we'll find out. But I think it's for me the only thing that's like holding it back is that you can just not bring Ninetales and then the team is a lot better. You know, if you just choose to not bring one of your high tiers, the team gets better. So for me, it's like just because of that, I would put it in C plus.
There
Just
are pretty good scarfers on this team.
Yeah, Krook and Rotom are both great scarfers, and Charizard is a solid one if Sun is up.
Right. So
Ninetales itself is also not bad at scarf. So yeah, I think C plus is where I'd put it personally, just because like It does have the power. It just doesn't have any of the support. You know.
Yeah, I agree. Some good support in this team goes a long way.
All right.
I think
Time.
this means we get to
Time to
Ooh,
roast
do I
gentle.
get to start with this one?
Yeah, you get to start with this one, Jack. And by get to, I
Ooh,
mean you have
scary.
to.
Okay. So I was staring at this team for a little bit. I was staring at this team, kind of going, "What was the vision here? Like,
That's not a
what
good sign.
what was going on?" Well, genuinely, at first I was like, "I don't get it. Like there's a frail Pyroar. There's nothing to support. Like, it
Pyro's not
took me a
frail.
minute, and the longer I looked at it, the more I was like, actually, I kind of like, I kind of see the vision. Like, the speed tier, first of all, let me start out. The speed tier's kind of iconic. You kind of hit like every 10 benchmark. The like largest gap in speed tiers is 78 to 92, which is basically 80 to 90. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
do really like those speed tiers. The typing coverage is also super duper nice. You have your fire, water, grass, and like a strong fire, water, grass. Basculegion, Pyroar, and Serena are like all no joke. Um, and then you have Fairy Dragon Steel, which like Hydreigon's not a joke. Floette Eternal, I don't know if I'm a believer, but like it's still like, but like the fairy pool's pretty shallow, and like Floette
Can
I
I
think could be
ask,
pretty flexible.
just real quick, why aren't you a believer? I'm just curious. Not trying to defend my
Honestly,
team too
I
hard,
just
but
haven't seen it.
oh,
It's
well,
like
I can tell you what
I
I've seen from it in the couple of draft leagues I've been in. It's like 90% of the time Scarf Light of Ruin. That's like the thing it does.
that makes yeah, I can see that.
It has like trick as well, so you can trick Scarf onto Trick Room setters.
And it does get like, well, it's not it's a Floette, so like its coverage isn't great, but like
You
it gets
don't.
psychic, it does
Gets
get
Pollen Puff,
aggressive.
which is kind of useful if you have like a bulky guy you want to Pollen Puff up, like Chimecho.
Yeah. No, I'm down with that. I what's it? The slow mode I think makes sense to me. You have Mega Chimecho to set up as like a very reliable trick room setter. That you can play mind games with. Am I gonna Mega Evolve or not Mega Evolve? Um, and then you have Rhyperior to be slow guy. Sableye can be like you get it in Trick Room and you get it in Trick Room, you Mega Evolve and like you set up some Calm Minds. That could be kind of cool. Um, the
Just so
fast
you
mode,
know, Chimecho is the only Trick Room setter, so if I'm bringing Sableye to a game and Chimecho to a game, I'm not
yes,
megging one of them, just so you know.
you would have to non-Mega the Chimecho, have it bulk out a hit, and then
Mm-hmm.
set up the two, which would be tough, but like doable. I don't know. Rhyperior's in that speed tier. Serena can be run slow enough. Bass can also be a great like Life Orb your Rhyperior, get through some guys. Basculegion comes in for the last respect like focus sash game. Um, I do really love the Basque Pyroar vision together. Um, to me, like besides Basque and Pyroar, the fast mode is a little bit lacking. I think what opened this team up to me is that you have like all the support you need in the world from Sableye. The fact that it can exist as an outside mega and click that fake out, give Pyroar one like free-ish heat wave, click Sunny Day, give Pyroar an Omega heat wave the next turn. Um, it can be tricky with like you can click fake out with the Sableye and then set up the trick room with Chimecho. You can click Rain Dance for Basculegion. You can run Swift Swim Life Orb if you need to, if Pyroar speed isn't fast enough for some reason. Um, you have all the speed tiers. You have fast mode. You have a slow mode. I don't know. To me, this is like I realize I've been rambling without like wishy washing back and forth. This to me is like top tier of like synergies that are not obvious at first, but like the more you look at it, the more like things gel together. So I do think it's really really cool. Logan, what do you think? Because I've just been rambling.
Yeah, you put it about as well as I could have, and I think this is kind of a similar thought to what we had a couple teams back, where
Which one?
it's
This
like
one?
not, I think it was Raz, where it's
Raz's
like
team?
not to the same extent, but there are a couple synergies there that aren't immediately obvious, but once you really look into it, like it's much easier to see the vision once you understand all of the thought that went into building this team. I would say it's maybe less flexible in terms of what any individual Mon can do. Like Rhyperior is just going to be the slow Trick Room guy. Power is just going to be the fast sound guy. Ask is just going to hit hard, whether it's Scarf or Swift Swim maybe with Rain Dance, or even in like a slower Trick Room mode. You kind of know what everything here is going to do. But what I would say the main switch up is in which sets of 4 that you bring to any given set, or which 6 you bring to a game. And like the set diversity on something like Sableye especially is going to be, in my opinion, the key to this team's success. And I think it's got a lot of potential. I think it can do very well, especially with like I said, the variety on Sableye. Like you've got speed control with Thunder Wave, you've got Fake Out to set up Trick Room, to set up Tailwind. You can set up Weather for your 2 guys, even like a side Swagger onto a White Herb, not a White Herb.
Yeah, Halucha.
I don't
Confusion
think
Berry Halucha, like
Person.
stuff like that could go a little silly.
Does Halucha get acrobatics? I actually forgot. Oh, he does.
It
Yeah.
does get aggro.
Yeah.
Wait, does Sableye get swagger? I didn't know this when I
Halucha.
drafted this
Oh,
team.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't know this. Well, there you go. More
That's kind of a
synergy,
fun one.
baby. More synergy.
It's
I
those
mean,
secret synergies.
That is actually kind of
And, like,
cool, but yeah.
In terms of value for points, I think Serena as a C tier is a steal. You get your Fire, Water, Grass
Yeah.
core, and I think like having anti-priority in all aspects of this team is a huge boon. So I think just overall, there's a lot that can be done with this team, and like you said, not the most obvious synergies immediately, but I think it'll be really strong.
Okay,
Yeah,
not
Nick,
to
how do you feel about your team?
time to glaze myself. So we talked about triple megas earlier and like what the criteria is for a good triple mega team. I have used Pyroar base form in draft twice before, so I can tell you from firsthand it's a lot better of a Pokemon than people would assume. It is not an amazing Pokemon, but like Unnerve is a really good ability, and like I think it's 106 I believe speed tier is actually really valuable.
109's attack.
Yeah, like it hits hard enough with overheat in particular, that like Unnerve overheats are really valuable. It also gets like a weirdly good support move pool, like Taunt, Yawn, Will-O-Wisp,
Yeah.
I think you've got a Snarl in
Snarl.
there too.
Yeah, Snarl for sure. It's like, and it has like a what's it called? Entrainment, so I can entrain funny fire ability onto my Vasky Legion to click Flare Blitz Bask, obviously, and then the
No joke.
yeah, dude, true. But like, I think I really like my cores on paper. I think it might be a little hard to deal with fairy types. I think is the big thing because like this team's only fairies are both of its megas, and that means that like a lot of the time, if I want to deal with fairy types, I have to like choose. Pyro is usable enough in its base form that that's like not always gonna limit me, but Chimecho is also slow, so it's like, can it fit on the fast mode? It really needs Hydreigon to Tailwind, and Hydreigon hates fairy types, so it's a bit of a bit of a catch-22 of like you want to bring your steel type to the fast mode, but your fast mode guy that enables fast mode just loses to fairy types. So something like Floette Eternal might be a huge issue for this team. But I think as long as you're not fighting like an S tier fairy type, it's probably manageable. Yeah, I think it's a pretty solid team. I think I didn't finish my point about triple mega. Yeah, Sableye is like the quintessential I'm not ever megaing this guy Pokemon. He's literally just there because Sableye is A tier and Sableye Mega is B tier, so it was just cheap Sableye. And then Chimecho I think is a good low tier mega. I think I got a lot of good low tier value because Halucha is a really cool coaching guy. He gets like a lot of good support moves like Encore, Quick Guard, Coaching.
I think it didn't get Tailwind and Scarvy, but it gets it here. Right?
No,
I
it
think it
hasn't
lost
had
still in
it hasn't
Gen
had Tailwind since like Gen 7. It lost it in Gen 8 and it never got it back. But yeah, I mean that would be a much better Tailwinder than Hydreigon. I do think Hydreigon's an adequate Tailwinder. It's probably like on the top half of Tailwinders in the game, but that doesn't make it like amazing at it. It's just like an
Unique one.
Yeah, Lucha, not the most powerful, but with close combat as such a high base power move, I think the fighting coverage could be super valuable on this team. And I don't know if you mentioned you have both like Quick Guard, Rain Dance, Sunny Day, as well as like the Encore and Taunt. I think you mentioned.
Yeah.
There's some really cool support options you can run. I think it's a great value as a D tier pick, especially for the speed tier.
Another thing it gets that is really funny, Flying Press got buffed, guys. It's 100 base power now and 95 accuracy.
Ooh, that's big.
This move is usually dog shit, but if it's good, it is really good. So that's nice to have.
That is true. That's really funny.
Off the top of your head, do you know what mons are like 4x weak to Flying Press because they're
it's usually normal or ice combos are the only ones that can, because like if they're a steel or rock type, they're neutral to flying or they resist flying. Yeah. So it's and there are a couple dark ones, but like Pangoro explodes, Scrafty explodes. Scrafty exploding is actually kind of useful, but like For the
Who
most part.
drafted Pangoro? Better watch out.
There's no one. There are 2 Scrafty teams though, so maybe.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, and like a Boma Snow, that's another one it like completely owns.
Mm.
It's rare that it's like really good, but it is funny. I think that it was buffed. It's more just a funny thing. All right, where do you want to rank my team?
I would rank it. I would rank it somewhere between A and like on the. I'm gonna say the middle end of A plus, like lower than what we have right now. I think
Mm-hmm.
this team runs on like I'm gonna hit hard before you. And I think this team definitely has the tools to do it, especially with the like Sableye surprise factor every week.
Mm-hmm.
But as a team in itself, I do think Logan put it well that like it'll come down to a lot of that team building. The team does not operate itself in the same way that like
Yeah, it's not at all autopilot,
right, exactly.
despite
So
having
that
2 of the most autopilot mons of all time, Pyroar and Basque.
you just click snarl every week and you win. Duh.
True.
Yeah, I would go somewhere between A and A plus. Logan, how are you feeling?
I believe I had Gentle's team in A plus, just below our friend with the roaring moon here,
Hmm.
or like the high end of A potentially, just because of like if and that's the thing. There is some bias in knowing you. Like if anyone else was piloting this team, I think I probably would put it into A.
Okay, then that's where
But
you. I don't think you rate the coach, so I think
but
it's
the
fine
thing
to
is,
put it in A.
I think anyone else running it wouldn't have explained all of the synergies in the same way that you had, but the synergies would still have existed.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
fair.
kind of like where my flip flopping is like
I get to
I
stand on my
I
own
I
soapbox. It's true.
I think a high A tier or somewhere in the middle to low end of A plus. It might be easier to figure out once we have some more points of comparison.
Yeah, we can leave it in A for now and then move it up because I have myself an A plus tier, but personally, I'm not going to include my ranking at all when ranking my own team. So whatever you guys decide is where we'll put it. If you guys decide on C tier, you can do that. Um,
Yeah.
I just don't
I
think
think
it's
back
fair
to
to rank my own
Pyro.
team, even if I think it's strong.
We'll do a
I
new
think like
tier.
back
It's
to
called the
Pyro is
G
just
tier.
such an unexpected synergy, but like is
Oh, I'm
so
so.
powerful.
Did you know?
Like
You know, I've drafted Basque before, and something I realized when I had Basque last time. You know, this guy has the same bulk as Frigraph, 120, 65, 75.
Paragraph. Oh,
Frigraph is 120, 70, 70. So it's like basically the same.
Yeah.
Like this guy can
Basque is
be
a
absurdly
very
bulky if you want it to be. Actually, very similar
bulky
stats.
supportive Basque. Show me my icy wind. Show me
Well,
my
I
trick
mean,
room, my helping hand. It's basically for egg. Fake out immune as well.
you need very little attack for Last Respects to be evil. So bulky Basque is definitely a set that I can
second
run.
trick room setter, Basculesian male.
If only it got Trick Room, that would actually be kind of hype. Ghost type Trick Room setter that's that bulky. Move over Jellicent. All right. Phoenix's team. Oh boy,
Or as I like
Logan.
to call them, Phoenix.
Yeah, the Fennec Fox.
Let's see what I had when I was looking at this before. There are a number of things that stood out to me when first looking at this team. One big one is you can see that we've got 4 megas here, and arguably based on the rules you had, none of them really want to stay in their base forms. Like they can, Pidgeot can still click like Tailwind in base, Chandelure could still be pretty powerful and click Trick Room or be in like a Tail Room mode in base, but
I mean,
Meganium, Scolipede really.
oh, interesting.
I think 4 megas in a 9-mon format. Actually, Scolipede's fast mode is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's I think 10. What is it? Just 100? I think it's just 100. School
I think it's 116.
112. 112. But yeah, that was speed boost.
Outpacing the 110 basically is the big benchmark. Not quite as fast as Whimsicott, but 4 megas on a team in a 9-mon format is a very difficult thing to sustain, and I don't think the megas chosen are super well positioned to have been the megas to be on a 4 mega team. The other notable standouts to me are the weather mode looks good, but it's missing a couple of kind of like the key pieces that you typically want to have with like a T-Tar drill core, which is like you don't want to spec too heavily into ground fighting weakness, which like a lot of things here don't love to take those two on. Meganium, I think, is an interesting pickup for that reason. It's a nice complementary pick to those two.
Hmm.
But you're also missing maybe like an anti-intimidate or some kind of redirection or fake out are two other notable things that are missing from
Mm-hmm.
this team. And with Pidgeot as your fastest Mon, this is really not like a very flexible team in terms of speed. The main speed control is just going to end up being either Trick Room, which honestly has two valuable options, but it's just going to be difficult to get it up consistently with no fake out, no redirection, like I said. And like Excadrill in Sand is somewhat of a speed control option as well.
Dead things can't attack. Yeah.
Dead things can't attack.
Yeah.
What do we think, Jack?
I think I agree. I think the quadruple mega is really what's holding, in my opinion, what would hold this team back. I personally am a big fan of T-Tar, Meganium, Excadrill, Tauros. Like, to me, those guys, those four could come every week if you like wanted them to. If you were like,
Mhm.
if you like had to pick four guys to come every week, T-Tar is a great core. Meganium's like proven to work on that sort of core. Complements like the typings pretty well, and Tauros is like nice intimidate.
Mhm.
The lack of support options Logan mentioned, I think, is kind of a big deal, because if you want to give Excadrill a turn to breathe, if you want to give T-Tar a chance to set up a Dragon Dance, if you want to set up Trick Room with Chandelure or Musharna, or even Tailwind with Pidgeot, like, you want that fake out, that redirect. Um, yeah. I think Logan was kind of alluding to this. The other thing that would be nice on this team is another ground immunity of some kind.
Mhm.
Just talking about sand teams, you have Pidgeot, which is like a super solid ground resist, but if you don't want to bring Pidgeot, then the next best thing is earthquaking your Meganium, which, I don't know, to me, Meganium is a Pokemon that like works on these sand teams because it can bulk out a few resisted hits. And so the fewer of those resisted hits you can make it take, the longer it'll last, the more damage it'll do, the better it'll be.
Mhm.
Earthquaking it with your own Excadrill kind of where makes it hard, makes its durability way worse.
Yeah, and
Um,
you really would like to be able to click that earthquake with the drill, like you're saying. But like I really do like this core. Meganium doesn't like to see the flying fire poison types, which like drill T-Tar covers really well. But just some other pieces to further support that would have been very useful.
yeah, exactly. Maybe this ended up being a tiering thing, but to me, this is like you bring four Mons, and then who is the sixth Mon you're bringing every week? You know.
It's probably
Um,
Pidgeot.
and hmm?
It's probably like, in my opinion at least, these six most of the time.
Yeah.
Chandelure
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah. Chandelure is such a good mon on paper, but I just don't think it's got the tools necessary to thrive here. I think it'll be difficult to fit it into to a team build most weeks.
Yeah, I sent the Earthquake calc. It does 17 to 20% to a max HP Meganium with Earthquake, which is like, it's not like a ton of damage, but it is definitely meaningful. It puts you in range of stuff like Iron Head, or like, you know, maybe like a Brave Bird that you would have lived before you suddenly die to. I mean, obviously hitting yourself is never a good idea.
And then it's the 20% from the earthquake plus the 6% from the
Yeah,
sand.
you're taking a quarter of your health. Yeah.
It really starts to add up.
Mm-hmm. I will say, so my thought on this team is like, I don't think there's an easy way to fix a lot of the issues I have with this team. I just straight up don't think, like, because of how the tiering works. My personal opinion on sand teams is that I don't believe in Titor Exca as a draft pairing unless you also have Rotom, because Rotom is like the perfect partner for those guys. He's really good at deleting water types, which they both really hate, no matter what Rotom form it is, even Rotom Heat. Um, they're good at deleting water types. They're immune to ground. They're a great Earthquake partner with Excadrill, and you get this Quake mode out of that. I just think like a Sand team should have a Rotom form. The only Rotom forms available are Rotom Ghost, and I think Rotom Fan is on the board again.
I think Fan got taken by archery. I just checked.
Yes,
I
yes.
just
Okay,
looked.
okay, okay. So yeah, it's just Rotom Ghost on the board. No, Rotom Mo might be on the board. I actually don't know if it's taken. Um,
No.
but like,
Rotomo, Wakeman, yeah.
okay. So like, I think drafting Meganium kind of limits yourself in that way, simply because like, yes, the combo is good on paper, but the problem is like, yes, you do a lot of self damage with Meganium, and that kind of sucks because Meganium's bulk is like, it's good, but it's not good enough to be eating like 18% from Sand Chip plus a strong super effective hit, you know. And then like, if you would spend your A tier on something that supports specifically the sand mode better, I think that would have worked better. For the record, Meganium I think was the first pick, so it was rather the sand mode built around Meganium rather than Meganium built around like, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's any easy solutions, but this team does have issues. No fake out, bad. It's kind of actually very similar to Matthew's team in the sense of like there's one mon immune to fake out and everything else is like scared of it and has no way of like dealing with it. Similar to Matthew's team as well, no redirection. But this one has actual trick room mode, so I give it better points than Matthew's. But yeah,
Right.
I do think T-Tar Extra
Meganium-
can just mog a lot of matchups, but like that's not usually enough on its own, I think.
Meganium can run slow, which is good. But if this was a Meganium team, then you wanted a Tailwind guy that wasn't also a Mega.
Yeah, they left their Tailwind guy for the last couple picks. They had a base Pidgeot originally, and I actually like that more because if you're not in sand mode, Sash Pidgeot is a fairly decent Tailwinder with 101 speed. But
Yeah. That's interesting.
yeah, and they switched it for Mega Pidgeot, and I thought that was a big downgrade because it's like 4 megas and itemless Pidgeot.
I think maybe this doesn't need to be said. X-Girl can totally run high horsepower every week, but like sometimes you just want to like to unlock the full potential of the sand stuff,
Yeah.
you do just want to be clicking Earthquake.
It's like Diggersby, where it's like, yes, you can click high horsepower, and yes, you probably will click high horsepower, but you also want to be able to click Earthquake. It's the best move on any physical ground type without Rillaboom around.
And you want people to be scared that you're going to click Earthquake so that they bring Wide Guard or they bring Shook, you know, like
Yeah, yeah.
you don't want people to be like, well, if they're clicking a ground move, they have to hit one of my guys. Like,
Even accounting for the spread modifier in terms of raw damage output, it's over 50% stronger than high horsepower. So like your damage output is just going to be way better with Earthquake than it is with high horsepower.
yeah.
Individual damage, not so much, but like overall damage, yeah. And that matters when you're using two other spread attackers like Gleam, Meganium, and Rockslide T-Tar. Weakening things for their spread moves is good. Okay, so where are we ranking this team?
Logan, I believe.
Yeah, Logan started us.
You.
Yes. Yeah, like you said, I think the synergy with the 4 mons we talked about, the T-Tar Drill, Meganium Tauros is nice. But I think it's going to be difficult to fit a lot of the other 5 most weeks. I think the sheer strength of like T-Tar Drill could kind of just run over some teams with funny rock slide flinch vibes, but
We've seen that recently in a
as
different league.
that we have. But yeah, on the whole, I would say this team is something that maybe I see the vision, but it wasn't executed to its fullest potential.
So C tier? Do you think it's better or worse than Matthew's team? C plus, sorry, excuse me.
We could roll back to Matthews for a sec. I do think it is better.
Okie
I
dokie.
think it might be meaningfully better enough that
for B
I
tier?
might bump it up to that B.
Okay. What about you, Jack?
I think I would put it in C plus, and like maybe I could come back and revisit it. I do think actually I'm on the fence. I do like it better than Matthew's. The joke I was gonna make is that because I think Exca and T-Tar is stronger than Venu and Ninetales. The first 4 mons, I think it's not just they're synergistic. They do have a lot of flexibility between the 4. And Belly Bolt Musharna is a really good core. Chandelure can be brought. Like this team has a lot of good mons and things do work together. I don't know if that amounts. Still being able to bring 5, like still struggling to bring a 6th mon some weeks feels really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad. And hey, maybe I'm overlooking something, but
Speed
Um,
past Scolipede.
Speed past Scolipede to Shandy. That's cool.
Shandy's kind of a boss move. Does Scolipede get work up by any chance?
I don't know.
Because you're not really passing a sword stance, but
No.
That's true.
See what status moves it gets. Nope. Yeah, it only gets sword stance and iron defense for setup.
You can double protect to get the speed boost, then Sunny Day for your Shandy.
I guess that's true.
could be a boss move.
And anyways, I personally would give this team B. Oh, sorry, you weren't done. I'm sorry.
Well, if you're both leaning towards B, I could totally agree with that.
The reason I give B is that this has a much more obvious game plan than Matthew's team, where I feel like Matthew actually struggles to find 4 Pokemon that you want to like bring every time. Like,
I think that's
like how often is your 4 Pokemon gonna be like Metagross, Venusaur, Ninetales, or Crocodile, and then you're happy with that, you know?
Some would say almost never.
I feel like a lot of the time you're gonna be like, you're gonna have like 3 guys who go well together, like Krook, Rotom, Charizard, and then you just throw on Ninetales because it helps Charizard, but it actually actively hurts Rotom. And then like, you know, you do Venusaur, Ninetales, Charizard, but then you have to throw on another guy, and the Sun probably actively hurts them. So it's like, yeah, that's my thing. Is I think like having at least 4 really solid mons that go together make sure that like it's stiff, but it is good, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sand is about as like reliably stiff as you get
Yeah.
in terms of like 2 pickups. And Meganium's
Pause. Anyways, moving on. I think Jack is starting us for Comb, or is
you guys give me the hard ones.
Yeah, well, you get to judge your friends.
All of our quirky friends make quirky teams, and it's like
Genuinely.
they're very. I think it's so cool to see draft teams like this, but it's much more difficult to rate them without talking to the coach, because like.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you
They
talk to
will
Luki,
put
I'm
so
sure Luki
much-
could explain this a lot better. But
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm sure, like, looking at a team like this, I would assume that Comb will have thought of something that we won't be able to find, and that could like bump up the team a little bit in my mind. But
you have to rate with what
yeah,
you know. Yeah.
we gotta roll with it.
I very much agree. Base things that I saw just looking at the team, I really like I really like what the team is trying to go for here. You've got Fake Out from Meowstic, you've got Intimidate from Weirdeer, you've got Rage Power from Scovillain. That's protecting a bunch of really intense attackers. You've got King Gambit that can Swords Dance and really take over games. Zard X, which is, dare I say, one of the best Dragon Dancers in the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Primarina can like Calm Mind up. Even Skarmory can set up a Swords Dance and get protected by those 3 guys.
Just for the record, Comb played their week 1, and he told me that he was heavily considering Swords Dance Night Slash Skarmory for week 1. So.
Yeah, like Skarmory's a real threat. The things that are kind of, again, I think what Logan was saying is true. This seems like a less orthodox team in a lot of ways. The speed tiers are kind of funky. You have that nice 100 base speed Charizard X, and then you get a 75 base speed Scovillain, which I'm sure is coming to every game, so your opponents will only have to account for that 25 base speed tier jump. I think to me, and you also have the triple megas. You have the Charizard, the Meowstic, and the Skarm. What make both of those a little bit more okay to me is because, or that A, you have pretty intense damage in and outside of your megas. I feel like it's pretty easy to bring like King Gambit, Charizard, Primarina, Skarm, and 2 support guys, and that's not too bad. The other thing that makes the speed more okay to me, the speed gaps more okay to me, is that you have a lot of bulky you have a lot of bulky guys in King Gambit and Prim and Zard, and you also have a lot of different like speed control / priority options. You've got Skarmory for Tailwind, you've got Weirdeer and Meowstic for Trick Room. Meowstic also gets Prankster Thunder Wave. King Gambit is the Sucker Punch guy.
John
so
Sucker
you don't
Punch,
really
yeah.
need the Tailwind. if you've got a +2 Life Orb or Black Glasses guy. Really the only guy that like I don't see contributing on. I mean, I've used Weird Ear. I think it's kind of underwhelming, but like it has a purpose. The only guy I see like that I really don't see the vision for is Sceptile, but even then, like, I mean, it's a fast Shedtail guy. It's like that's fine. Reader on paper is fine. Like, I don't know. I
Yeah.
drafted it. I was excited about it.
The stats are okay. It's just worse for a
Yeah.
graph.
It's a more reliable Trick Room guy than Mega Meowstick.
Much more.
It's an Intimidate guy. It can do that funny skill swap.
Intimidate with the
Intimidate
Self-proc
thing.
competitive. you
Or
can do
Defiant,
funny
yeah.
Gravity Hypnosis. You've got a couple of
Right.
good, like Prim and Golurk in Trick Room Kingambit as well, especially is like pretty terrifying. So I think to have that slower
Yeah, great attackers at least.
and
Yeah.
like Weird Ear's relatively threatening. Give this Psy Shield Bash, I think is what the
Yeah, it got
skill
buffed.
was called.
It got
They
buffed.
which
It's
is
90
strong,
90
but
base
you're
power
boosting
now.
your own defense.
Oh goodness, Weirder needed something.
I'm surprised they didn't give him body
Yeah.
press at the same time, because Psy Shield Bash body press would have been actually kind of nice. But they didn't.
Doesn't it
Yeah.
get, it gets low kick, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
I
gets
mean,
it gets
Lucario
Mega
low-tier
Horn.
kick
I think is a unique thing. Earth power, high horsepower, Mega Horn, Thunderbolt.
Can reasonably run either physical or special. Are those stats the same?
Yeah, they're the same, and it gets like unique options on both ends. So
Yeah, I think it's a very nifty guy. I think one thing as well, I don't know if we talked about this specifically in terms of Mega Meowstick, but how it covers King Gambit's fighting weakness to have. I think there's only one fighting type in the game that's outpacing you, and that's Mega Lop. And then otherwise, that's a just very strong psychic that you can send into anything that's looking to threaten the King Gambit and really just
yeah,
protect it in that way, get it online.
the only other two I can think of are both Unburdened fighting types, Hawlucha and Sneaselayer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Logan, if you wanna give your thoughts again, I got another. Maybe that's just my style. My style is rambling. I do really like the team. It feels very setup oriented, but it's set up in a way that you also have a lot of like power right off the bat, which I really like.
Like you're saying, these top three, even including Skarm, really like they do have that setup option that is incredibly strong. But like Gambit 135 base attack, Zard 130, Skarmory 140, and then like Prim and Meowstick, both very strong as well. Like the setup is almost just like the cherry on top. It doesn't feel like as much of a necessity compared to, was it Funky's team that we were looking at, that I think
Yeah, where the highest stat is just
really
Blastoise.
felt setup reliant. I think Combs' team, it's flavor and it'll be really valuable throughout the season, but you're by no means lost without it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
But yeah, I think as well, I don't know how much we covered the two megas, but like yeah, Meowstick and Skarm as a second and third mega. Like both of them okay in the base forms. Meowstick cool as like Fake Out plus Prankster. Skarmory Sturdy plus Tailwind is kind of just like a mini Corviknight a little bit. And if you needed them to not have an item, it's really not the end of the world for either of them, I feel.
Yeah. I think Skarmory is kind of bad in its base form, but just the existence of the move Tailwind makes up for that.
Yeah,
I do.
I'm not the biggest base Skarmory lover by any means.
I do think
Pretty
it's.
Tailwind.
So I have a couple notes that I don't think were hit on. I don't think it's super easy to bring Charizard and Skarm to this game. I think it's actually very hard because like one of them is gonna be not Mega, and because Zard X is primarily a physical attacker, it has the same special attack as physical attack, but obviously Tough Claws makes it lean physical. If you don't Mega it has like 78, I think, or 84, something like that attack. It's not great. So like 84.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not really hitting hard at all in its base form,
think
and that
my
means that
thinking
you
there
kind of
is
need
just
to
like-
Mega it a lot, and that means that
In
Skarm.
that case, you would prep for the game knowing that like, okay, if I bring Skarm and Charizard together, it's just gonna be supportive Skarm, and you're gonna spec out Skarm.
Right, I just don't
with
think
a more
supportive Skarm is
supportive
good.
set.
This is like my thought process. I just think like Skarm's base stats are just not good enough to like what's it called, to really do anything other than click Tailwind and die. And like that isn't
is
all.
really
That isn't like a bad thing. But when you're 70 base speed, a lot of the time you're not even clicking Tailwind and dying. You're just dying. It's not like a deal breaker by any means. I think the team is still solid. I just think like I would wish for a better Tailwinder with Zard because Zardex is so good with good Tailwind. Um,
This
and
I
I
have to
think
interrupt.
hmm?
This means nothing. Did you guys know Skarm got Icy Wind?
I did know this.
That to me is bonkers. But like, you'd always prefer to be clicking tail. Anyway,
Unless you need to
continue.
break a sash.
Hashtag why not both?
Yeah, you skill swap your own King Gambit and then skill swap them Defiant and then Icy win them.
Wait, Cook.
Anyways, I think
Yeah,
I think
I think I do agree. Like, rather than having a Skarm as that third mega, if there was another Tailwinder in that B tier that was available, I think it would have been arguably a better pick.
yeah,
There.
but it's hard to say because like I think the only option there right now is Cleave or question mark. Let me check the draft pool.
Norvern's taken, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well I have the draft pool here on Draftion. It's so you got for Tailwind at least it's Cleavor. I guess the Spothra is an option for speed control, but not really on a team with 2 psychic types.
Cleavor and Noivern, I think, are the only two Tailwinders.
Noivern is taken.
Yeah.
So yeah, just Cleavor. So like yeah, I don't think there's like a ton of alternatives necessarily. It's just like we're grading the teams relative to the tiering, but at the same time, if your tiering results in awkward things, it's still awkward. It doesn't make it less awkward.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think the team is solid. I didn't like it very much at first, and after I've like delved into it a little more, because this is I think the team that gave me the most headache in terms of like where to place it. Classic comb maneuver. Giving me the most headache. I figured out how to place it. So like I think I get the team a bit more now. I do agree Sceptile's kind of a nothing pick. I think the big thing for this team for me is like the high end speed tier is actually kind of bad because like Meowstic is a fake 124. You're not really megaing it almost ever unless your opponent has like a really scary fighting type you need to delete. And like I don't think Sceptile comes that often because you're almost always bringing Scoville in. It's so useful that you don't really need to bring Sceptile a lot of the time because like, oh, I have a grass type that clicks Leaf Storm. Wait, why am I not clicking that with Scoville? It's not very often that like Sceptile will outclass Scoville like in any way, and so that means to me at least most of the time the high end speed tier is just Skarm, which isn't bad. 110 is a solid high end, but it just means like a lot of Scarfers are going to be a problem for this team. Basically any Pokemon with Scarf can outspeed the whole team.
Yeah, even then, like if you're Skarm as your speeder, that means you're making Skarm and not Zard, which I think is
Yeah, it decreases your
not what you
overall
wanna do
damage
in
output.
most cases.
In week 1, it was versus Mega Floette, so I think that was a fair use case for Scar Mega. But
Yeah,
in,
absolutely.
in general, I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll have to see. But I also wish Golurk had like better Earthquake partners. Although Golurk in particular is not really as prone to like I need to click Earthquake as the other guys are because he has. First of all, he has no guard, so his high horsepower is more consistent. But he also has Headlong Rush if you want to do like Iron Fist Headlong Rush, and yeah, I think Golurk's a solid mon. I just wish that like there's one more ground immunity because like Zard is a ground immunity when it's not mega, but we've already talked about how mid non-mega Zard is.
Headlong Rush isn't Iron Fist boosted, is it?
No, it's just if you're using an Iron Fist set, then you use that over high horsepower because
Real.
no guard would
Yeah.
boost high horsepower, but not Headlong Rush. Okay, where are we putting this team?
I go first. I think I would put it in. I think I've talked myself into putting in A plus. I think I'm kind of with you, Victor, where at first I was like, what's going on? And that speed jump does hurt my head a little bit. But the more I talk about it, the more I feel like imagining myself prepping for this, I would be scared. I would be frightened of like all the offensive output, and Meowstic to me is basically like Sableye Light.
Yeah, it doesn't get Disable Encore like Sableye, which is a big thing about why Sableye is so annoying, but yeah.
No, but
It also
Sableye
doesn't get
doesn't
taunt, important thing. Meowstic does not get taunt.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I don't know. I think for this team it serves the purpose well. So I would lean towards like an A, like a lower A plus. Yeah, like a mid lower A plus.
Okay.
Logan, how are you feeling?
I don't know if I have quite as high of an opinion as you do. I think some of the things that we were talking about, like the speed tiers in the fast mode, are a little bit fake, and there's not like a fast tailwind to kind of make up for that unless you are using your mega slot on the Skarmory, which, like we were saying, that it does definitely have its problems that comes with that. But as a whole, like the setup modes, I think are where this team really thrives. with like the maybe like Meowstic, Scovillain, +2 setup, or like plus Weirdeer for Trick Room. But I think this team, for me, probably sits somewhere in like B plus or high B, because it's good. It's good, and I think you can do really interesting things with it. But like you're saying, you're prepping for it, and there's a lot of different options to consider. But some teams where you're like scared of a lot of things, they can kind of all happen at once. And this team, when you pick like your mega option or one of your different like primary game modes, it negates the possibility of doing anything else in most cases. So like it's definitely a headache in the builder, but I think in terms of actual output, it would struggle more to threaten as much in reality as it would in like every possible worst case scenario, if that makes sense.
Interesting. Yeah, it does make sense. Victor?
It's funny that this team is like so different between you two because I'm right in the middle. I put it at the very top of B plus or the very bottom of A. I think I'm leaning top of B plus. My reasoning for that is similar to Logan. I just don't think the options are good but not consistent, and that's the big thing for me is that the consistency of this team is not high. With the right pilot, I think it can achieve A or A plus tier value for sure. And because I think there's a little bit of
Sources are
bias here
saying it
where
does have the right pilot.
sources are saying that the pilot might be a world's contender. But yeah, like a great pilot does not change the fact that the team I think will still be like not easy to pilot. And in a similar way to me, but unlike my team, I really don't think there's any mons here that are autopilot besides maybe King Gambit. All these mons require your actual attention to use properly. And that's
Yeah, absolutely.
and like the mental tax isn't like a huge thing, but it is a thing, you know. Like having a team that's hard to use just means like
Yeah.
if you're not able to give the prep a lot of effort one week, or if you're not allowed to, if you maybe you had like a rough day and you're not playing your best, this team will punish you for that. I think more so than other teams will, and that's why I want to put it in B plus.
All right. I mean, I feel okay with putting it in B plus, and then as we're like going through the other teams, we'll figure out
Mm-hmm.
how that looks if like a low A is what our
Yeah,
consensus is.
I'm also okay with low
relative.
A. I'm leaning B plus for now.
Yeah, I think that's super fair.
Okay, moving on to Thunderball.
T-ball. Is that what the T stands for in T-ball? Thunderball?
Yeah, his name is Thunderball 101.
Dude, that's a great name.
101
I wish there was a move
Thunderballs.
called Thunderball. We have Electro Ball. It's not the same.
Yeah, it's true.
Can't wait for Thunder Web, the new move coming out in Gen 10.
Dude,
New
I'm so
signature
ready.
move: 135 base power, paralyzes and lowers the speed of both Pokemon by
Yes.
6.
Give me one moment. Yeah, looking at this team, I think I'm thinking right now.
It's crazy. What a crazy thing to think.
It's a very interesting team. I don't think it's immediately obvious what like my first use case for it would be. My notes, truthfully, as I was going through my own stuff personally, did get like less and less detailed over time. So I'm at the point where I'm like,
Real.
I'm going down from like 5 to 7 lines to maybe 2 or 3 per team. But I was saying like Staraptor, nice to have Intimidate, good Tailwind setup, potentially a strong attacker, especially with Reckless if you wanted it to be, and then
John
both
Gambit as
Spiritomb.
well. It's the only viable final
Yes,
Gambiter.
yeah. John Gambit is a very, very interesting move, and it's one that I'm personally quite fond of. And then Gallade, I think being usable both as base and as mega is interesting to me because you do have 2 fake out options. You do have the redirector if you wanted to use literally just like base sharpness Gallade with the Scovillain, with the Scizor, with like a fake out option and go hard Trick Room vibes. That's also something that's very possible with this team. Speed tiers are fairly well distributed. There's nothing that's kind of what I would describe as the elite speed tier, which I usually categorize as like the 115, 120 or higher. And you're also kind of missing the in-between on the Staraptor to the Gudra, especially when Gudra's not typically a thing that I think you want to be running timid.
Yeah, none of these mons
Um,
besides like none of the mons 80 or below are gonna really be running fast at all.
mhm. And like they have the potential to, but I think if you're playing into a Tailwind team, you kind of get out tailwinded. So only be into like a slow balancy team without like a real trick room mode that you would probably be running like a Tailwind as your main priority here. Couple things of note, if we scroll down a little bit, Staraptor is your only ground resistance or immunity. But you do have the wide guard from the Toxapex, which comes in handy.
And Gallade.
And Gallade, yep. And you've got a couple strong options to deal with ground types in like main ground type in the format right now is Garchomp. You've got Grimmsnarl that can hit it super effectively.
No one drafted that guy though.
No one drafted
No,
Garchomp?
Megachomp and
Garchomp.
Chomp both didn't get drafted.
Wow.
But yeah, you've got Gallade with the Leaf Blade, you've got Scovillain with a very powerful Leaf Storm, Gudra's got water coverage, Raichu's got water coverage, Toxapex is water type. Like you have not like the S tier tools to clear ground types, but like you can kind of get around the Earthquake spam or like Disquake, Heatwave, Earthquake, whatever it ends up being. I quite like the double fake out with this team just because things like the Gallade, like the Scizor, they often want to be setting up with the Swords Dance, maybe even the agility on the Gallade, and so having those fake out options and the redirector especially in Scovillain I think is great.
Mm-hmm.
One thing of note for me here is I feel like Scovillain's very much a dual mega kind of guy, which I think Gallade covers for relatively well, but you're not loving your fire type matchup. I think like for this team to see something like a Pyroar or a Zard or a Delphox, I think all of those would be
Only one of those was drafted.
yeah, but in
Still,
theory, like
yeah, I get what you
in
mean.
the
I get what
world
you
where
mean.
you're drafting and all of those are a possibility, I think this team isn't the best suited to clear that. Like the main option would probably just be like Raptor, Gambit.
Delete them. Yeah.
Yeah, with the Heat Wave, obviously you do have like the two wide guard options, and you do have screens, you do have the fake out, you have ways to get around it. But I wish there was a little bit, I guess, more synergy between the two megas. But they're not anti-synergistic. I feel there's just not like an immediate combination that's like standing out to me as I really see the vision on the two of them being together.
Yeah.
What was the other thing? I think lacking in immediate power is the other big thing of note.
Yeah.
But
Grimmsnarl is one of the stronger
with, yeah.
attackers. I mean, they actually all have good attacking stats now that I look at it.
And Gove's attacking stats are kind of spooky.
Yeah, 138 in both. I mean, it doesn't really go physical because the physical move pool sucks, but
Temper flare
Yeah,
your
but,
way through the competition.
yeah.
Yeah, with the screens, with the fake out and the redirection, I think you have the possibility to set up if you need to. And like you're saying, like the actual offensive stats on this team really aren't terrible at all. So you could be well within your right to just come out swinging.
Fake stall.
Just yeah, a little bit fake stall. Just in terms of your like immediate speed and power, I think that's something where this team could struggle in a big way.
Yeah, for sure. Anything to add, Jack? Oh, just real quick, guys. Loving the depth that we're going into, and that was the intention.
We do have a lot of teams left.
We have over
we're like
half
an
the
hour and a
teams
half
left.
in.
We're an hour and a half in with over half the teams left. We might want to be a little more succinct going forward, just as a heads
less
up.
than 15 minutes per team, perhaps.
Yeah, perhaps. I think that actually has been our pace roughly.
Yep, that's
we're
what 6 teams in an hour 30 is.
Yeah.
I'll try and be quicker then. I agree with what Logan was saying about the fire type problem. That was the first thing I had in my notes. A good rock type would go a long way. The offense, I could definitely see some creative team building opening up offense. Gallade's really good. Scovillain can be offensive. Staraptor and Scizor are offense guys. There isn't a great intimidate
Absorber.
Counter. Yeah, or even like sometimes an
it has
Intimidate
inner
Absorber
focus
is
once
a
it
strong
megas.
special attacker.
Yeah, once it megas, Gallade has inner focus, so you have to. If it's later in the game, it's fine. But yeah.
Yeah, I guess the only problem is like if you lead Gallade into the Intimidator, then you'll tank that hit.
Turn
and
0 or turn 1.
That procs before Mega, right?
Yes, switches go before Mega.
So it does become basically like within your opponent's hands to play around that more than it is in yours.
For sure.
The thing that jumped out to me is this like super bulky thing you have going on with like Grim and Scove and Gudra and Pex. Which like, don't get me wrong, is like inherently
Evil.
it's very terrifying. Like
It's evil is what
like
it is.
I don't want to have to like play against like a Toxapex behind screens, you know. I don't want to have to decide like are these
Toxapex
gonna
behind screens while you're burned.
And leech
Right,
seeded and
like-
infestation.
right,
Yeah.
like that is super duper terrifying. That being said, I feel like I'm more afraid of a team that can like run me over with sheer offense
Hmm.
than one that like
Looks to
I
the
need
right.
to run safeguard against. Right, that's gonna like try and take me from me.
This team does not love the move taunt, notably.
Yeah,
Taunt, item Lumberry, like yeah.
Only got one mental herb.
I was making fun of T-Vol because he's my good friend of mine. I was making fun of him by calling him submissive and tauntable with this team. Because especially Scovillain can't even hold the mental herb, so there's just really nothing I can do.
Well, you can rage powder the taunt away, and then I guess you do get the big hit off after. But
Yeah, John overheat.
John overheat.
Joseph overheat. Yeah, those are my biggest notes. The more we talk about it, the more I see kind of the offensive pieces the team has going, which does make me like it more. But
Yeah, they don't stand out for sure. The offense doesn't. But once you see it, there is something there.
Victor, anything to add?
I wish this team had better fast mode. I think Raichu and Raptor are pretty good speed control mons, but I wish you'd have something naturally fast. And there's no good Scarfer on this team. Like nothing is good at using Scarf. Like I don't think anyone's ever clicking. I guess it's just Scarf Raptor, but if you're using it for Tailwind, it's hard to do Tailwind and Scarf at the same time. You can, but like it's more
Gudra's
difficult.
alright.
Gudra's okay, yeah.
I wouldn't say so honestly.
I wouldn't call it the.
It's
the
not a
top tier
Scarfer.
but
It's more like it has the correct speed tier to run it, and therefore sometimes will. But that doesn't mean it's like a
Yeah.
Scarfer in my mind.
yeah, I'm with you.
Get like a Scarf Draco off in your season, like that's kind of what Gudra's good for.
Yeah, he clicks Scald and gets a 30% burn first try.
Right,
Um,
exactly.
I like the trigger mode kind of. The trigger mode is like not a offensive trigger mode, which is why it's weird. Because like the trigger mode offensive mons are Scizor and unironically offensive Grim. So it's like, but like the trigger mode I think is you lead like Grim Spiritomb and then you click like fake out Trick Room, you burn or snarl something and then parting shot into Toxapex, and then Toxapex in Trick Room is able to like just be incredibly evil because the big thing with Toxapex is getting doubled up before you're able to do anything and then dying. But if you're in Trick Room, that's not a thing.
Hex
I
mode
actually,
first is when
yeah,
it gets gross.
yeah. So I think that's actually like a more real mode than most stall trigger modes are, just because Pex, Spiritomb, Grimmsnarl as a trio actually pairs pretty well. That's
gross.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop.
Oh, and I have one more thing from my notes to read. So Raz originally had like the first team we reviewed originally had Spiritomb over Cofagrigus, and they traded Cofagrigus for Spiritomb with T-Ball. And what they said before this, while they were still considering the trade, is Lewis, I like you and I respect you. However, I have taken a look at this team you've built here, and I did throw open my mouth, so unfortunately, I cannot in good conscience give you even an inch, even if that does include a better Trick Room setter. It's not personal, and I hope you understand that if I give Snarl plus Wisp plus Pressure user to a Mega Scovillain Grimmsnarl Toxapex team, I simply will not be able to sleep at night.
That's
So,
really fun.
yeah, it was really funny to see that message when he sent it to me. It was so funny. But then he like what's it called? T-Ball correctly pointed out that Morpeko exists and Raz's favorite Pokemon is Morpeko. So by virtue of not wanting to have 3 dark types, he did end up relinquishing the Spiritomb to this evil team. I think if we're ranking it on pure evilness, it's S tier because it is, I think, very evil.
Yes, I agree with that.
Okay, so we're and Jack knows evil. Jack knows evil.
I only ran Dondozo Pecharunt once, guys.
But you did run Dondozo Pecharunt in that league.
It was a long season.
you listen.
It
You
was a
played well in
15-week
playoffs.
season.
You played well in playoffs, but I will never forgive you for the way that you won your 2 playoffs games with Toxapex.
I won the way I needed to.
Or not Toxapex. I'm sorry. I meant Malignant Chain. Evil.
Malignant Chain all the
Oh,
way.
I remember
And Poison
watching
Gas.
that one.
And Poison Gas.
It was so funny.
That was like one of the only season 1 games I watched, and it was just like man.
What do you mean? I use skill and outpositioning to
Anyways.
No, listen,
dispel
I'm
confusion.
I'm the guy who does what he needs to do to win. I 6-0'd someone in finals once with like stall go lurk.
Hell yeah.
Sometimes
Golurk.
the vibe is just to like start doing bad things to people.
Yeah, it's to be
Yeah.
evil. Anyways, where are you ranking the evil team?
Logan, you go
Um,
first.
Yeah, just one more thing in terms of Jack knowing evil. The way we met was me getting curb stomped by Iron Ball, Galarian, Articuno. I don't know if that's evil, but it was
Oh,
cool.
That's
I
sick,
super
actually.
forgot that that's the team I used against you.
Yep. And I just like I was a little bit more new to the scene than I am now, and I think I let Intimidate into your competitive guy, and you just like follow me trick roomed
Oh,
me into oblivion, and it hurt so bad, but
I see.
it was a very cool team.
I am sorry, and that
Um,
is possibly like the best Techmon I've ever used in my life. So
Style done, unfortunately.
But for T-ball,
Mm-hmm.
I forgot I moved my mouse. Hold on. Originally, I had T-ball in high B plus,
Would you put it above Combs
and
or?
I'm gonna roll back to Combs' team for 2 seconds if we can.
Because I
But
remember for Combs' team, you said you definitely thought like your ranking was lower than T-ball than you ranked T-ball.
yeah, it was, and the more we talked about it, the more I came around on it. But like my issues with Combs' team, I still stand on. I think it's like you said, it doesn't play itself really at all, though
Hmm.
I think T-Balls does a little bit more. Just it could be a little bit flowcharty, especially if you play kind of the stall mode.
It's kind of the opposite problem
Um,
actually, where it's
It's
like
almost too flowcharty.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, the
I
Toxapex clicked Infestation, Baneful Bunker Recover. This is crazy.
This is crazy. I'm honestly feeling very suggestible right now. I don't have a strong opinion between these two teams. I think it's difficult to compare them, but I think they're both of
Yeah, they're very
similar
different,
strength in my mind.
of different ilk for sure.
Hmm.
All right, Jack.
who is the Palafin logo? Remind me. I want to like find it.
Phoenix. Oh,
That
you
was
think this is
Phoenix.
much lower? Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking a lot. I'm looking a lot lower. I feel. I think I feel it being in like a. Yeah, honestly, like I think I'd. This to me, I think is right around Phoenix's team, where like I think there's a lot more flex. It is a very flexible team, and the more we talked about it, the more I was like, wow, there actually are like a lot of options that like you have to respect. Like, I would super pull up to this team and get destroyed by Rage Powder Scove next to Bulk Up Grim, or like
Sword
fake out
Stance, Gallade, or something.
Grim next to like next to like Overheat Scove. Like there are a lot of things to watch out for.
Wait, Gallade gets Sword Stance, right? His arms are swords.
Gallade certainly gets sword stance.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure. Because I was like, I'm not going to say that and then be wrong.
That would be that'd be funny. But no, I think fundamentally, like the things with the speed, the things with the like slow bulky trick room, I'm like a little wishy washy on the like typing matchup with the fire types or like an anti-intimidate mon. I'm not so sure about. So to me, it ranks lower. Like a if we go back to the tier, I would put it like a B. Yeah, I think I'd put it about there.
Above or below Phoenix?
Above, I think,
Okay.
because of the flexibility of the mons.
This is
Is
also where
Raz
I
with
would put
the
it.
Slitherwing team?
No, that's Raz. That's the Slitherwing team. The one with the Annihilate and the Mega Greninja. I would
I do think this is
also.
better than the
Yeah.
Mega Aggron team.
I would also put it in B tier, but I think it's better than the. I think it's better than Raz's team. I think it's more cohesive than Raz's team. I think it's a big thing. Like all of these
Yes,
pieces work pretty well together. I think. Like none of them have anti synergy really. I think, and that there's something
Yeah.
there's something to be said for just having a bunch of guys who are always good brings, and that makes it harder to prep for, right? Because like I don't think you can realistically write off any of these mons while prepping.
No. Pex as a D tier, I think, is a crazy
I
steal.
Yeah,
also
that
think-
definitely
yeah,
shouldn't
I
have been
think
D
it's
tier.
Wild.
Definitely
was
shouldn't have been D
so-
tier.
Every mon on this team is very bringable, and it has like
Flex.
it's tough for that kind of mon for these kind of mons to have like a terrible matchup, which is like
Mm-hmm.
Pex can always find a way to do what it needs to do, at least like get 1 or 2 clicks off Raichu as one of the fastest fake outs in the game. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not very defensive
Sadly, not the
neutral too,
lightning
so
rod
it's gonna have
one.
bad matchups, but it's never what it was meant to do.
Yeah.
And the offensive mons like the Gallade, like the Goodra, they just have so much flexibility in what they can bring. It's not easy for them to have like a really, really bad offensive matchup, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it has been 14 minutes since I said we should move faster, so I think for the next team we'll have to move much faster. But this team did deserve
Great.
the time to talk about. It's very complicated. This next team is not. So let's move on. I believe it's Jack's turn to go first.
Yes. Okay. First year roses archery. I think that Lipard and Noivern are really interesting, really cool, like draft-centric partners for Floette.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've got that fake out, you've got all the support that Lipard's like what? If Meowstic is Sableye Light, Lipard is like Meowstic Light. Like
Meow.
like-
Lipard has some things that Meowstic doesn't.
I would say they're both kind of like Sableye Light.
well, right, Lipard gets what? Thunder Wave, Taunt, Encore, Fake Out, like has
Both
a decent.
weathers.
I think it gets.
Yeah,
tested
it
fine.
gets-
Not that you're like we're talking only about support, but like it gets a lot. Like
Funny Dynamax
It's
format copycat. Both Meowstic
Well,
and this get fake
like-
tiers. They both get fake tiers.
Yeah.
But
And I
this gets
think,
Screech and Meowstic doesn't get Screech, and that can be useful. Not
Calm has
consistently.
an option next to Floette, especially if you're boosting with Calm Mind, is like
Mhm.
really
Yeah.
potentially devastating.
For sure.
you could.
I think Taunt
you
is
could
also
slow
really
Light of
valuable.
Ruin,
Like
you could slow
Taunt.
Light of Ruin and then copycat the next turn for a Lipard Light of Ruin. Like
Whoa. Off of
Yep.
this massive like 80 special attack, 88 special attack.
No, but I see the vision.
It's also
Then
faster
Noivern
than
is-
Meowstic. Meowstic's 104 and this is 106, so it will have faster fake out in that particular matchup.
You know what? Yeah, Lipard's great. Noivern's also like I would say Noivern's like the premier low tier fast tailwind guy.
For sure. It's like this
Like-
and in SV I also would have said Kilowattrel, but like this when
Yes.
Kilowattrel's not
Yeah.
around.
Or like even in SV, I probably would have said like Arrow as well if it was in the game. But I
Well,
I
it's
think
not in the
because of
game,
The
yeah.
way the metagame is positioned right now, Arrow has become a top tier, but like they kind of
Right.
hold similar spots in my mind in terms of more
Arrow
filled out
is
formats.
Arrow's still like usually an A or a very high B tier in like a full Nat Dex format, just because the speed plus Unnerve is so powerful.
Pretty good.
Anyways,
And
Big
Frisk is
Frisk
very
fan,
nice.
though, me
Noivern,
personally.
Noivern things.
Noivern.
Um,
Oh, Noivern gets Super Fang, by the way, if you didn't know, so it can like
Noivern
Super
does
Fang
get
stuff.
Super Fang, which next to Floette.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah,
Yep. And fire type coverage as a dragon flying type is super nice, very
yeah.
necessary.
Fire Blast and Heat Wave, I think.
Ceruledge I think is cool to deal with fire types. That's like the classic.
Oh, it doesn't get Fire Blast,
deal with
but it does get Heat
fire
Wave.
type guys.
Mhm.
Heat Wave. It gets flamethrower, I think.
Yeah, it does. It
That's-
just doesn't get Fire Blast. Fire Blast is like the one that you like to have on Dragon types because it's the one that actually one-shots Steel types. But yeah,
Yeah, that's fair. Ceruledge for the fire types that the fire and steels that Floette doesn't like is cool. Obviously Ceruledge can't like Oko the fires back, but like you like it's
you
still
get the
just
Flash
good
Fire
to
boost from them. Yeah.
out. Right. And then I think the Trick Room mode's really cool. I don't know, like you could run a slow Floette if you called for it, but right, you got all those guys. Metagross can be a really scary, like, slow guy. I think that's really cool.
He has Hammer Arm,
Um,
which can be funny.
Yeah, Hammer Arm's great. The things that I noted that are questionable, or things that I would like if you were here, I would talk to you about. The ghost resist on your team.
Yeah,
Lipard.
it's pretty dookie except for Lightbard for sure.
That's like the biggest thing where I'm kind of like,
Also, just for the record, hold on, let me get the Pokemon up.
the Lipard.
Yeah, is this your Ghost Resist? 64, 50, 50?
This is your ghost resist. This is your ghost resist.
yeah.
It cannot outbulk a Raichu, but it is your ghost resist.
Wait, is that true?
I think Raichu's like 60, 60, 60, right?
It's 60, 50, so it's technically slightly bulkier than Raichu.
Ah,
Anyways, back to
um,
this.
In terms of the power level of the format, though, I don't know how many ghost types there are to fear that.
Oh,
Drafted.
I was when I was talking
Big
about this
one?
team with someone else. I looked through, and of this season, 12 out of 15 teams have an offensive ghost type that Archer would have to worry about. So
Wow,
like,
that's
Really?
crazy.
yeah. So if we go through these, like Poltergeist from Spiritomb is an option. Chandelure Mega, Golurk, Basky Legion, fucking obviously, and also Matthew's like one of the only teams that doesn't have a ghost type. And then Raz has Annihilate and Cofagrigus, and then Funky has Sinistra. So it's like every team will have a ghost type,
Yeah.
basically. Not every team, but like practically
and not all
speaking.
of them typically spec fully offensive, but like into Archery's team, it's giving them.
It's
the
worth thinking
flexibility
about,
that-
yeah.
Yeah, it's a real
Um,
concern.
Yeah, I've already talked about the modes and how I like the modes. Besides the Floette, I feel like the team's a little wanting for immediate power.
Mm.
Which to me is kind of always a thing to look out for and is a little tough. Honestly, my biggest gripe with the team as a whole is that I just like don't understand fully a lot of the lower tier picks, or like they don't synergize as well as I want them to. Like Slowbro's cool for a trigger mode, but like I Swampert I guess is just because you wanted an anti-fire guy.
He sniped my Swampert. I wanted this over Rhyperior.
Like
You get-
Swampert's a cool guy, and I think ground type is good, and I love Swampert.
You
But
got
like,
yeah, getting Wave Crash is big for it. It's like a trick 'em attacker.
yeah. And Chestnut again. Chestnut's good, but like, I wouldn't call it particularly great. Kind of what we were saying about Gallade and Scope. Like,
Yeah.
it's less of a problem because Floette's on the team, and Floette can be a fine solo mega. But
And Chestnut's an okay
Chestnut-
base form Pokemon.
right, Chestnut's like fine. Swampert's like fine. Rotom fan. I mean, it's a D tier, so whatever. But like, Rotom's kind of fine. Like, the Pokemon work well together, but they don't synergize in a way that like I would think would really tie a great team together.
Mhm.
So those are kind of my notes. Logan, what's your thought?
Don't have crazy amount to add. I would say like the immediate power. It's not crazy bad. Like Draco Meteor off and Noivern is nothing to scoff at. The Metagross is relatively strong, as is the Swampert, but like it's
And
definitely
Ceruledge.
not. Yeah, Ceruledge is a big one. But
Poltergeist.
it's definitely not where it could be. Chestnut Body Press is also gonna hit like a truck with no setup. That thing is gross.
Or just straight up fight.
Um,
It has 140 attack, basically 139.
what do you
So
look on
like you
Chestnut
can
for
just attack as well.
here?
You don't have to use body press if you don't want to. You want to just go close combat. That's reasonable.
They made Chestnut slower, didn't they?
Yeah, he's 44
Yeah,
instead of
well.
64.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult to put into a Tailwind mode, but like into one of these slower teams, which frankly there's like a good number of teams with some speed tiers that in my opinion you could be disrespecting. And like
T-balls.
offensive yeah, like T-balls. Offensive fast Mega Chestnut is not out of the question by any means in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, not a crazy amount to add. I'm pretty much in agreement.
Yeah, I don't even. The only thing I'd add is like I think with a Floette team, an important thing that I've noticed with like bad Floette teams versus good Floette teams is that you need to have like 3 really sturdy fairy resists, because Floette powers up your opponent's fairy types, and that is actually really scary because like fairies are so good. So it's like, I think having good fairy types on your team with Floette, or good fairy resist on your team with Floette is really important. Ceruledge, Metagross, and Slowbro are all really sturdy, really solid fairy answers. Yeah, very good fairy answers, and I think that helps because like. The 3 ways you beat Floette are Poison type, Steel type, and then your own Fairy type that's physical. So if you have like good ways of dealing with all 3 of those things, which I think this team does, then Floette is pretty well supported.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also notable that
thing is,
Metagross is good into opposing Fairy types and psychic and Poison types, and it's reasonably good into Steel types as a resist at least. So yeah.
I would say like all those 3 cover all of Float's weaknesses well. Just the only trouble could potentially be like a very strong ground type into this team.
This is true.
Go a
This
little
is true.
silly.
That's less to do with Floette and more to do with the other choices
The
made.
things that cover
Yeah,
Float all
yeah,
by
yeah, for
necessity
sure.
are gonna be weak to ground.
Yeah, because ground fairy is perfect coverage, unless you're a Levitate Mon or Corviknight. Yeah, Corviknight the goat.
Shout out. But yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think like the Swampert or the Chestnut
Are great.
like they
Yeah, great ground answers for sure. I see.
they have the possibility to be, but they can't clear them with the immediacy that could really be desired
Mm-hmm.
from the rest of the team.
I also think there's a little bit of like I think Noivern and Liepard are both great support options for Floette, but having both does mean that your sash is a little taxed a lot. So like your
Yeah,
sash is going to be
agreed.
like a high value item that you can't put on both. Noivern's actually not that frail. It's just that it has like common painful weaknesses, especially next
Yeah,
to Floette.
it's hard to give only one resist because of how
Yeah.
many kind of
Yeah, it just dies to
available.
Icy Wind or Dazzling Gleam. Okay, where are we ranking this? After this, bathroom break.
I'm with
I
you.
would put it. Oh, where would I put it? I think I'd put it in that B clump again, but I don't. Was it that first team was Raz's that we put in?
Yeah, do you want to look at that one again?
No, I got it. It's the
For me,
Annihilate one.
this is for me on like similar vibes to T-Ball, definitely above Raz for me.
I think it's the best one in B,
I'd
if
be
nothing else.
down with that. Yeah, I was gonna say, Logan, I feel impressionable about this one, so if you have a strong opinion.
If you want to switch back just to the matchup doc screen, I'm gonna take in the vibes. I'm looking at these two teams beside each other as a comparison. Man, I really could flip a coin and be happy, I think.
I would put this in B plus personally. I actually think it's
I
like
could also be
significantly
happy for
better.
that.
I think it's significantly better than T-Ball's team. Mostly just because like I think stalled is not good in draft and offense is. So even if they're like similar power
Yeah.
levels at the same at
Yeah.
different game plans, stall is just a worse game plan than offense is. And this is
I would say on ladder, I would be like, if we were laddering with a draft power level team, I guess if that's a thing.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
I
being
see.
able to prep for stall might be easier to prep for the all out.
Yeah, because you can just click taunt, and that's like, or like you can click taunt, or you can click like if you're worried about other stuff, you can click like substitute is a really good way to shut down stall. So like sub and taunt are both really common options to shut that down. But there's not really the same level of counterplay for offense. It's just like don't die.
Yeah, for these reasons, I'm happy with B plus on Archery's team.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
I feel like I lean more towards the A, but I think because Mega Floette is such a powerhouse, when you put it like that.
What were we putting like? I might have to cut this part out.
Focus Sash is like if you had a berry, but for every type.
And fake out doesn't exist.
Just click protect.
Priority moves? Never heard of them.
Dude, literally.
That's why I run Aquajet Basque, and it lives.
Ask my Focus Sash Serena how I feel about that.
True. You got me there. Ultimate Basque killer. That's why every team's running Focus Sash Serena.
It's true. All right, we are back from the bathroom break. I will probably cut that part out. The only editing I'm willing to do. Okay. So we landed on B plus, I think for now. We might change it later. We will have a time to go over this. All right, let's start going through these quicker a little bit, just a little bit, just like 10 minutes per team's fine, but like 15's a bit much. All right, go ahead and take us away with Radial.
It's me, and it's time to talk about Radial. And Radial, as you can see, is a team. And
It sure
has
is.
3 megas on it.
It sure does.
And I remember looking at this the other day and thinking that Gyarados covered Frostlass's defensive weaknesses very well. And also, low-key, so did Dragonite. And Dragonite's a very, very versatile and cool mon. I think it works very well on this team. Let me see what my actual notes.
Somebody copied
awesome,
Wolfie.
and Tink is awesome.
He actually didn't have Frostlass originally. That was a trade, so he did not copy Wolfie.
Oh shoot.
What was the thing we were thinking about? One thing that was brought up is Alcremie with a scarf outspeeds Frostlass by exactly 1 point.
Yes, it's 190 versus 189 on Frostlass.
You can do a little bit of funny decorate shenanigans there.
We do a little trolling.
My one big concern that we had brought up previously, not on this video, but
in prior talks, yes.
Can you guys believe a time has happened beyond this?
Insane.
The auto camera up trick room mode is not calling to me in a big way. I think the team isn't super well set up for it, and to spend your B tier points on a mon that is like admittedly very strong, but with 2 megas that are already very good. And like Gyarados can stay unmega'd, but Frostlass really doesn't love to.
Mm-mm.
Neither does Camerupt. Like it spreads the team a little thin, where I really feel like it would rather just have more support for your Frostlass Gyarados modes rather than that third kind of centralizing piece in the Camerupt.
But Logan, there's
Um,
something you're not considering. There's
Autobell
a reason
as
to.
Trick Room is good because Victor doesn't like when you have no Trick Room.
No, but you're not considering this. Magma Armor means that Camerupt in base form, while your opponent is clicking Blizzard into your snow, you'll never get frozen. This is a big benefit of
You know
Camerupt base
what?
form. Magma Armor is the greatest
Can't
ability
do
ever.
anything.
Okay. Anyways, on to serious things. Jack, do you have anything to add?
I like the synergies. Someone said Tink is awesome. Tink with 2 Dragon Dance guys and an Aurora Veil guy is awesome. I really, really, really like Tauros on this team.
This is just
I
combat
think-
form, by the way, if you're not aware.
Yeah, even just combat form, I feel like
If it's Fire
it'll
Tauros.
do, like would it be nice as a Fire Tauros? Yes. But like I still think close combating all the things that Frostlass doesn't want to see is awesome. And intimidating for the Frostlass is awesome. My big gripe, I think it's similar to Logan's. I honestly don't like the triple megas here. I think the synergy between Mega Gyarados and Mega Frostlass is way better than the synergy between Base Gyarados and Mega Frostlass, or vice versa. You can set up Aurora Veil for your base Gyarados to Dragon Dance, but I would prefer Aurora Veil for my Mega Gyarados to Dragon Dance, and you can't really get that. I also think a really cool mode could be Mega Frostlass setting up Aurora Veil for regular old Camerupt, and you can't get that.
Yeah.
And so all of those things, like I know they all operate on their own, which is totally fine. I just the fact that there are 3 megas and they synergize well together, except you will never have them on the same team, I think maybe it shouldn't take away a lot, but to me it's like, I don't know, Camerupt and Frostlass both can't really operate without their megas.
Yeah.
Or not the same way, and that to me is really tough.
All right. Do you have anything else, or because I have something to add?
That's my main. Those are my main.
I see.
Roses and cons.
I think this team actually has a pretty bad tailwind mode, despite having a decent tailwind setter. Because like, what are you tailwinding for on this team? Like, Tauros is. I think Tauros is probably the most often Scarfer here, because like it's really that and Scarf Chemi are the only 2 decent Scarfers. Roserade's an okay Scarfer, just because Sleep Powder Scarf is really powerful and it gets Cotton Spore, which is like, for those who don't know, it's String Shot, but it doesn't work on Grass types. Is basically the move. It's a cool move. It's
spread?
like, yeah, it's the same as String Shot, or it's spread lowers the speed by 2, but it doesn't work on grass types, and it's fully accurate, so it doesn't miss like String Shot can. Yeah, it's like an interesting Scarfer. Fun fact: Roserade has exactly 2 moves that get boosted by Technician on the special side, and it's Round and Snore. So I don't think you're using special Roserade with Technician.
Awesome.
So unfortunately, without hidden power, Technician's kind of garbage, but Poison Point's a fine ability. Yeah, I guess my main gripe is just that like most of the things this team does is reactive. I don't think there's like a lot of proactive game plans you have with this besides Dragon Dance Gyarados. I don't really think Dragon Dance Dragonite is very real on this team. I mean, I guess you can. I just don't know why you would if you have the option of like just running a more standard Dragonite, either like Tailwind or like E-Speed, something like that. I don't mind Tauros. I think Tauros is cool. I just unfortunate thing about Tauros doesn't get coaching, and coaching would be very nice with this team. I think coaching with Dragonite, Gyarados, and Tinkaton would be so nice. But yeah, that's more of a nicety than a necessity. I think if you changed out Camerupt for like an actually bringable fire type, this team would get a lot better. But as of now, I'm just kind of on the whole thing. I think Frostlass is really good, and that helps carry the team a bit. But I don't think this Frostlass is especially well positioned. It's well supported, but not well positioned, if that makes sense. Like I don't think you're setting up Veil for a really powerful setup mon that often.
I'm with you.
And you're also not. There's not like anything that does as much raw damage as Frostlass. So like Frostlass is setting up Veil for itself. It's a very selfish type of Frostlass set. Because like Dragonite's offense is good, but remember that it's using like Dragon Claw, and it doesn't get a flying move. It gets like Aerial Ace, So it's like it doesn't actually hit that hard without Scale Shot. And then the next highest stat.
Dragonfall hits real hard, but then you're not running multi-scale.
Yeah, yeah, and
Like,
base Gyarados is 125 attack, but it's a similar story to Dragonite where it's like high attacking stat, weak attacking move. Waterfall is its best stab move without Mega. So realistically, Frostlass is setting up fail for Frostlass, and that's it. Because like, look at the special attackers. The Roserade is the only one that has like a good special attack stat, except for Frostlass and Mega Camerupt, which again you can't bring them both at the same time. So like, I think this team might actually, despite how it looks on the surface, might struggle with damage output.
Yeah, I feel like I'm hoping this isn't just my lack of imagination. I feel like Gyarados and Dragonite kind of do the same thing on this team.
Yeah, I think Dragonite has good special sets, but like the special sets aren't as good as the physical ones.
Yeah,
I think the big
Gyarados can
thing,
have good special sets too. But like,
Dragonite does E-Speed and isn't a Mega, I think is the idea. Because Gyarados like is a Mega, and therefore with Frostlass it can't reach full potential. Yeah. Okay, so where are we thinking of putting this team?
Logan, you have thoughts?
This is Logan's ranking.
I think I was feeling better about this team before and less good about it now. And I think I just switched the team on you because I'm looking at the next one down, and I don't know if I might like Raz's team more than Radial's right now.
Okay, so like right here, but above Phoenix's, above the 4 Mega
Looking at
team.
Phoenix. You know, I don't know. It's so difficult because like all of these 3 megas are excellent, but I don't think any of them, like you said, are supported or positioned like in the way that they'd really like to be. Like
I think Frostlass is supported well. It just isn't supporting anything else. It's a very selfish Mega on this team.
Yeah. Like you do get double Intimidate, and you do have Fake Out, and you do have the Scarf Decorate.
Yeah,
And
but all those things are for Frostlass. So if Frostlass dies, it feels kind of weird.
Yeah, well, you can make them for Gyarados. You can make them nasty plot Frostlass, so it actually hits things. Like,
yes,
I
I'm
feel
just
like I was trashing, but like,
I just think that like having all your damage on like 2 mons, like Gyarados and Frostlass are the 2 main damage dealers, and nothing else in the team does anywhere close to as good damage.
If you play Protect the King and then the King goes down, then
yeah, I don't really respect Protect the King in draft because you can prep ultra specific counters for the 1 King, and then you're just like, oh okay, I guess I lose.
Yeah, my other 3 mons are like Tink and then Decorate Guy and then base Tauros.
Yeah, it's like you brought like a Audino because you're afraid of Trick Room, so you have like Audino, Tauros, and Tankaton with your.
There's an Audino in your game.
Yeah, I mean, it can include Helping Hand, but if yeah, I don't know.
You wake up slapping your way to victory. I don't
It's true. It's true.
Where's our tier list looking right now?
It's like this.
Is the next one?
This one is the one we're doing right now. You put it. I think you said it's worse than Raz. We hadn't decided on Phoenix yet.
I haven't. I think it's just a question of like, oh, is the Protect the Frostlass Gyarados mode better, or is like just kind of Sand Spam better? And it's like
I know which one's easier to use for sure.
Yeah, that's where I'm leaning. Is like Phoenix's team. If you click 1 million Rock Slides.
Yeah, I think like. And also, Frostlass in particular is very prone to just random tech moves killing it. Because, like, oh, that mon has random overheat. Oh, that mon has, like, Sucker Punch, and I wasn't expecting it. GG.
I think I'm happy with this placement here.
Oh, something I wanted to mention, but I didn't mention. This team's really weak to Sunny Day. Like, because you Sunny Day, and then Gyarados has no damage output, and then Tinkaton and Frostlass both die, and then...
Which is still a guy. You can still crunch on your Gyarados. And
yeah, but I'm saying, like, if you're using Mega Frostlass in a game, then you just click Sunny Day, and then it can't Aurora Veil, and its defense is weakened, and it dies to Heat Wave. So, yeah. It's like, Sunny Day in particular is a very good move into this team.
Gyarados is useless in Sunny Day, but, like, it is neutered.
Yeah, extremely so, I'd say, because you want to use it in its base form a lot.
A camera up there, too.
I don't think you're bringing camera up that often, though. I think we already talked about that. It's like, it's kind of a stick out of, like a, what's it called?
Fish out of water?
Fish out of water. A stick in the mud.
Camel out of desert.
Yeah, it's true.
Desert.
He can't erupt.
I did.
But yeah, that's my feeling on it. I don't think it's like a C tier team though. I think the pieces are strong, even if they're a bit centralized.
Yes, I concur.
Can you tell this person almost exclusively played Arch in SV? Can you tell that Protect the King is like their favorite way to play? Well, yeah, there's that, but it's also like building a Protect the King team is very Arch player of them.
It is. It is.
Yeah, I feel like I would rank it higher, but I also don't need like I think that's the tier I'd put it in, so I don't.
Would you
feel
put
the
it
need to be, like,
here
picky about it.
or here? Where would you put it? Would you put it above Phoenix's?
Low-key, I was gonna say B plus, like low B plus, but also what you guys were saying about the like what would be easy, like this versus the sand. I do think I'd rank the sand above. So I think where it is right now is about where I'd put it.
All right, moving on. I think we managed just under 10 minutes for that one. Good job, guys. Ed's team.
Woo.
Take us away.
Next team.
I should
Okay.
do bookmarks for this so that people can just skip to the part where their team is.
First your roses. I think the synergies, the sun synergy is cool. The trick room mode I think is pretty cool. Your speed tiers are like okay. It goes from the Kangaskhan's 95 to, or the Kangaskhan's 90 to the Houndoom's 115, which is kind of tough, but like,
If you don't
but
Mega
I don't know.
Houndoom, it's 95, but yeah.
Let's
Right,
go.
you've got your like, fast,
Base Houndoom.
you've got your like fast mode, and then you've got your like slow. So I'm kind of like, that's okay. Um, the trick room mode I said is cool. You've got Dragology, which is a cool trick room guy. You've got Aegis which is a cool trick room guy. You've got Slowbro, which is a really scary setup trick room guy.
Mhm.
So those are all like really cool modes that I think you can build out and use in flexible ways. That your opponent will have to respect like each of your pieces in that way.
Mhm.
In terms of your typings, you don't have a lot of. Let's do the ghost check here. You've got 2 ghost resistances.
Also, it's
One of
good.
them
They both beat ghost types because one of them is scrappy. Remember, that it's a scrappy normal type.
Right.
So
So your ghost resistances are kind of rough, and your ground resistances are kind of tough too.
My thing though, in terms of the ghost types, I'm not as concerned for this team just because like of the nature of how Aegis works. I think in a ghost versus ghost matchup, that's like an Aegis favorite interaction for the most part.
yeah,
And because of how bulky Slowbro is, and with no shell armor, and with like some of the premier ghosts in the format being like maybe a Mega Gengar, if you are able to get that trick room up, I think Slowbro kind of smokes that guy.
yeah.
This is the one specific ghost type there.
He's also pretty. He's not in like living 2 poltergeists, but you're never killing him with 1.
Yeah,
I think
that's
fair.
a big deal.
I think that's really fair. The resistances I wrote down, and then I wrote down where is the power, and I think this is very debatable. To me, there are 3 guys on this team who want to hold the life orb every week.
Hmm.
And they can't all. Aegis like has a lot of power, but kind of wants a life orb.
He's a big spell
Dragology
tag
loves the
enjoyer.
life orb. Say that again.
Aegislash is like the John spell tag for me. I think like 90% of the time I put spell tag on him if I'm prepping him.
Yeah. I don't know. All these like you have 3. You have a bunch of guys where like the power is like almost in that like really intense amount of power. Like Kangaskhan is like an example. Like Silk Scarf will do fine. Life Orb would be great. I'm worried that you're gonna run into situations where you're trying to find offense for your team and you're gonna miss out on key KOs.
Mm.
That's kind of my temperature on it. I like the modes you got. I don't mind the speed tiers as much as other teams because they are distinct modes, but I'm worried about the power level, so to speak.
Yeah, along those lines, like the kind of sunny tailwind mode with the Houndoom Whimsicott can be really strong with Kangaskhan to support.
Mhm.
But having your like next fast guy who really, I think, likes being in that tailwind, being like a Rotom Wash, that guy don't like the sun all that much,
I don't think
notably.
he cares. Like, how often do you click Hydro Pump with Rotom Wash? I think it's usually like Wisp, Webs, and Thunderbolt.
I mean, into the Houndoom, which is not loving to see the rock and ground types, I think you'd like
Yeah, that's fair.
you'd
Yeah.
appreciate the water coverage, but not being at full power in the sun when Houndoom kind of needs the sun to function at full capacity. It's somewhat of an anti-synergy,
You
but
you can Solar Beam, but yes, this is true.
yeah.
Like I feel like this team would love Pyro over Houndoom, Loki.
Well, yeah, but Houndoom is a C tier and Pyro's an A tier, so that's the.
Yeah, I guess
That's
that's
a big one.
it.
I just wish one of like the kind of middling tiers like Rotom or Passimian were maybe a higher power level. Like the support that Rotom provides to this team, I think it isn't as key on this comp as it would be compared to others. Like I feel like that A tier could be better occupied by something with a little bit more immediacy.
Rotom is like the only good flying answer on this team, I think is the big thing. Just flying types are really
Yeah.
good into this team outside of that.
My thinking is
Yeah.
perhaps you could draft a different one if you had A tiers at your disposal.
I mean, not anymore, but possibly.
In theory.
We can go through them, but yeah.
There's a Mamoswine in there. I don't know if that got
Mega
drafted.
No,
Fable.
Mamoswine's not drafted. Mega Fable is good if you mega it.
I was gonna say don't actually draft. I don't think Magical Fable on this team is a.
No.
Oh, you don't have a fairy type. No. Well, you do,
Whimsicott.
but it's-
Whimsicott is actually a pretty good fairy type.
Yeah. I take it back. I take it back.
John
Um,
Whimsy.
Yeah. Logan, do you have more to add, or Victor, do you have thoughts?
Logan first, if Logan has more to add.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think like the fake out redirection support is nifty for the slow king or slow bro mega, and I think the
Mhm.
fast mode is kind of cool. But I think each of them are not quite as scary as maybe they could have been with like maybe a different thing in the Rotom, or maybe the Passimian slot could have taken better advantage of either of those.
Hmm.
I just don't know exactly what that would be.
Yeah. I like this team. I think is pretty solid offensively in particular, and then the support pieces are. I think this is like one of two teams that has both fake out and redirection. I think it's like this Funky, and I don't think anyone else has both. Let me check.
Mm-hmm. I think
No,
Funky
Comb has
double
fake out.
and
Comb has
redirection.
yeah. Funky says the best support core. I think Ed's is not as good, but Kangaskhan is like the best fake out mon. I think. Period.
Mhm.
Ariados is like very good redirection.
Yeah, for D tier because that's their D tier pick.
Yeah, D tier 2. Yep.
Yeah,
I-
I'm running a team with like Wims, King, Ariados on it, and they feel really nice as kind of like
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Kangaskhan as a fake out guy because he's like A, he's able to fake out ghost types, B, he's able to ignore other fake out mons when you want him to, and C, it's just the right speed to be like faster than most fake out users but slow enough to work in Trick Room. So like that's
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Kangaskhan. I think it's a very good mon. And I think the Trick Room mode of like Kangaskhan, Slowbro, Dragalge, Aegislash, or replace one of those with Ariados is like actually pretty
very
solid.
scary.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I think like combining that with the best tailwind setter in the format leads to like a lot of painful speed sandwiches for your opponent, I think. But the big but is that all of
Big
the all of the good heavy hitters here are heavy hitters, but with caveats. So it's like Dragalge's a heavy hitter in Trick Room, Slowbro's a heavy hitter once you mega it, Houndoom's a heavy hitter in the sun, and like Aegislash is a heavy hitter, and then you have to like survive after hitting something because you will die if you get hit. So it's
Very
like
conditional.
yeah, there's a lot of conditions on it, but the power when the conditions are met is crazy. I think like the output of this team is really high in the correct conditions. It's just in the incorrect conditions it might be hard.
Yeah.
Overall, I'd say this team is like. Oh, actually, I shouldn't say my ranking first. You guys do that.
I was gonna say I would honestly take suggestions.
I do have suggestions, but I want to maybe Logan does the suggestion.
Yeah, Logan, do you have a strong feeling?
I have a thought. The Miami Flare team is
Is Funky? No. Sorry,
Funky.
archery. The Floette team.
I think this might T-ball's next to archery in that list, right?
Yes. T-ball's the top of B. Archery's the bottom of B plus.
And then it's Combs' team up there as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's up there kind of in that group. I don't think it's quite up there with yours, but like in terms of like the somewhere in B plus is where I'd lean.
Where would you put it? Better or worse than I think
better than
archery's
archery.
And then better or worse than Comb. I'll tell you what, it's easier to pilot than Combs. But that's not saying much. Combs' team looks very hard to pilot.
I lean.
I don't know. I feel like
I
because
mean,
the conditions
the conditional stuff that we were talking about, I think it's
harder. Yeah.
well,
I
the
don't.
conditions are like more straightforward to meet in my opinion.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's
oh,
just
you need
like
trick room, so put up trick room. You need gems,
yeah,
so set Senbei.
it's like you need to not die with Aegis Slash, so make sure you kill the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Doomer is useful outside of Sun, for the record. I said that his output is conditional. His full output is conditional. 140 special attack is still pretty high.
Snarls and
Notable.
flamethrowers and overheats.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it gets nasty plot as well if you decide to do that.
Yeah.
Or
Nasty
fake
plot
tears
with
from
fake out
wins.
and good redirection
Mhm.
and tailwind is pretty nasty. I think I'd put this above Film Scheme.
Okay. That's all. That's
I
exactly where I would have put it. So that's
I
yeah.
would have said more like high B,
Hmm.
honestly.
I just
Like
I have a lot of faith in the damage output of a lot of these mons, especially Kangaskhan. I think Kangaskhan is like crazy. Kangaskhan's a very scary guy. Because like 95 attack doesn't seem like a lot, but then it's using like either 120 base power double edge or 140 base power last resort. And it's like, oh, that hits very, very hard.
Go
yeah,
myself
I'm just
there.
like
And you can't intim it.
if the conditions were a little bit more similar to each other,
I think some of them are.
then I see the vision, I guess. But
Because like
A lot of the conditions are just trick room.
yeah, but like
Like,
in the case of like Houndoom, Whims, Aegis Slash all have similar conditions where it's like Whims wants a partner that does a billion damage next to it so that it can do support stuff. Aegis Slash and Houndoom both fulfill that. Houndoom wants a sunny day guy. For the record, my position on Houndoom is that it's not a good mon unless you have Whimsicott. I think it's like the only partner that makes it good.
yeah, but even then, it's like
Look who we
Houndoom
found.
wants the sun and probably wants speed control. So that's 2 turns
Well,
of needing to keep Houndoom
yes,
alive.
for sure, but it also has
But
115
the thing
speed,
is,
so it's like not.
yeah, it's like if you lead both and you have the option of either one or the other, depending on what the situation calls for, like
Mm-hmm.
it's not always, in my opinion, that you'll need both, and also that Houndoom poses such a big threat on turn one that, like, especially if you have a Sash on Whimsicott, that you could probably just protect the Houndoom in a fair amount of cases and be able to get both off.
Yeah, and also Houndoom again still has 140 special attack, so if you need to tail in turn one, it's not like your damage output will be poor. It'll just be less good.
Like that's fair. To me that just is not. I feel like you guys feel like that's stronger than I feel. It's like I feel like with 2 turns, there's a lot of counterplay to like heat wave or overheat plus.
I just don't
tailwind.
think that you always need the 2 turns.
I
think
agree.
in most cases you won't, especially into this league as we've been going through it. Like, most of these teams are not faster than 115. Like, they
Mhm.
have one Mon maybe, and a lot of times that Mon is like either like you see the Frostlass right next to it. The Frostlass is not troubling the Houndoom, except maybe with a Heisey win to make one of its partners faster.
Yeah, if you just click
Most of these
tail and
teams
snarl
have
turn
at
one.
most one Mon faster than that, and
Yeah, that's true.
it's in a lot of cases kind of a fake speed here. Like a Sceptile,
Like
not a
Zam.
real problem. Pidgeot, yeah,
Zam doesn't get any
tail
speed
end
control.
turn
No, he gets
one.
Thunderwave. He gets Thunderwave.
But like, yeah, it I just think
But like
it's
the team
in this
across is just
exact
a
league.
different type of cross, you know?
What? I didn't hear what you said.
Like for the team across, you don't need to put the faster guy across because you just put the multi-scale Dragonite in front of the Houndoom, you know?
Yeah, and then like fake tears.
Slightly slower Whimsicott, go my Moonblast, Snarl or
Yeah.
something first.
No, that's
I don't
true.
know.
It is.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of
You can
I
like
think
protect
those two
Moonblast,
together
fake
are the
tears,
best.
attack. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like fake tears whims a lot. It's a scary mon in draft.
Indeed.
I think I'm willing to if you feel strongly enough about it, I'm willing to put it lower in B plus. But I do think it's B plus. I think that's fair.
I think it's the best of the 3 teams here still.
I think it looks a lot easier to use than Luki's team, and I think its potential is higher than what's it called? It's higher than Archery's, but Archery's is the easiest to use of the 3. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's like inches, so it's not too big of a deal. I'd probably put it lower in the B plus. Yeah.
Would you be okay with that? Because in my opinion, it's like
Yeah.
the middle point between these two teams, where it's like Luki's team at the best is better than both of these. Like Luki's team, full all cylinders firing is good, but is the hardest to use, and then Archery's is the easiest to use, but has the lowest potential, and then Ed's is like right in the middle.
That's super fair.
All right. Toxic. Oh boy, this is a fun one to talk about. Because I've gotten very different opinions on this. Yeah, this is Logan's. I've gotten very different opinions when I've asked people about this, so this will be a fun one.
Do a quick rundown, and I just got a call, and I should call them back
Oh,
after.
okay, okay.
Holy jump in speed tier, very notable.
145 to 86. Yeah.
Triple mega,
Woo!
but I'm not sure about the Sceptile here, although the discharge mode is kind of cool. You've also got the Hippowdon and the Wide Guard,
And
so
telepathy
that you can
Gardevoir.
make that work. Yeah, there's a lot of little side hit moves like the discharge, like the earthquake that you don't mind using, like 2 levitators plus that, or like 2
Yeah.
immunities plus the telepathy is really nice. There is a big jump in the speed here, but because you have the fastest non-priority Tailwind in the format, like a lot of these will end up moving first before your opponent. Got the funny Firewater Grass core, which covers itself nicely.
The grass is Mega Sceptile though.
This is it's a very very weak team, notably. Does not love to see that coming. And
No poison
both
or steel
the-
type.
Both the Ghost and the Dark Resist are Mega Scrafty, which that guy is going to get blown up by.
And a lot of the
Floette
time,
sneezing a little bit.
he'll also be the only rock resist because like Hippowdon.
Yeah, there's a couple exploitable weaknesses in the type chart, but in terms of like fast immediate offense, I think this team has that. Period. Smile.
Yeah.
Smile.
I will let you guys duke it out. I'll be back.
Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah, I feel pretty neutral about this team. Honestly, all things considered. Victor, I don't know which way you lean on it, which I guess is the point of me talking first.
Yes.
But
Yes.
the more I look at it, the more I see there are synergies. I personally wasn't the biggest fan of the triple mega, but honestly, Scrafty and Arrow can operate fine outside of mega. In my
Yeah,
notes, I have
especially
an
Arrow.
issue with set up with Scrafty, but at the same time, you do have Nasty Plot Rotom. You do have like Agility Bask if you want it.
Are you
do
ever
have,
running
like,
Nasty Plot Rotom on this team though?
I'm just like, is there a setup? And the answer is like, yes, there is setup.
I think coaching Scrafty is the most real setup thing on this team.
Coaching into like
Arrow
Hippo or Archer and
or
Arrow.
Bask or Arrow, yeah. 'Cause Bask is a physical attacker, even if it has a lower physical attack, because Last Respects is just that worth it of a move.
Yes, that's very true. You can definitely run. I feel like, yeah. So I don't know. The more I look at it, the more it starts to click. I feel like, I don't know, the speed tiers are really tough. The speed tiers are really, really tough. The typings, as Logan was saying, was a little tough. So that's kind of where I fall.
All right, that's fun because then I get to be the other end of the spectrum. I don't like this team, and there's a couple of reasons. It's not nearly as bad as like Ninetales on Matthew's team, but I do think Hippowdon is like negative synergy with a lot of these mons. Besides the fact that it's a ground type that can click Earthquake, which any ground type could do. It's also like, for Discquake in particular, very bad at Discquake because it's so slow that even a lot of paralyzed things will be faster than you, and it's like you're so slow that like you'll probably get doubled up before getting to get your Earthquake off, which is kind of a problem.
Yeah.
So like let's say your opponent leads like water type and like water type ice type, and then you click like overheat into the ice type, it lives on Sash, and then your Hippowdon's dead or whatever. So I'm not a fan of Hippowdon. I feel like there was probably an intention to draft something like Houndstone, but little peek behind the curtain here. For some reason, Houndstone just wasn't on the Drafteon version of the tier list.
Oh no.
So you couldn't draft Houndstone, and then Toxic didn't make an effort to change it for change Hippowdon for a different ground type. I don't know if there are any good ground types left in the tier.
I was gonna say a Sandrush guy would have been super nice on this sort of team in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know if there are any good ground types left. Is the caveat? So like, it might just be that like Hippowdon is just what was left.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking through this, I'm not seeing a ground type. Oh, Mudsdale. Actually, I think I'd like Mudsdale a lot more.
That would be like a really cool like Trick Room.
Yeah,
guy.
it would be like
Maybe like
Hippowdon.
Hippowdon.
Yeah, it'd be like
Yeah.
Hippowdon but better, because it's just
Yeah.
as slow for doing Discquake, but it's like actually bulky and doesn't negatively impact a lot of the team. Because I think there's like a couple guys here you want to run Sash on, like in particular Gardevoir, that you just kind of can't a lot of the time because Hippowdon would be like, but what if I sand you? And Gardevoir is
Yeah.
an intended partner for Hippowdon, so it's like it's not fair to say just don't bring Hippowdon because Gardevoir is the Trick Room guy for Hippowdon and
Right.
Telepathy guy for Earthquake. So it's like, it is relevant. I don't really get why we have Mr. Rime and Gardevoir. They share so many weaknesses and do very similar things. Like, yes, Mr. Rime has Fake Out, but like, Gardevoir, they're both weak to Steel. They're both weak to Ghost. They're both weak to, they both struggle with, what's it called? Hitting Steel types, and they both struggle with, hitting poison. No, actually, I guess Gardevoir's good into poison, but like, or sorry, I feel like the shared weakness to like Ghost and into Steel and into the inability to hit Steel in general, kind of a problem for an Arrow team. I don't really think you want like 3 guys who really can't hit Steel types, even if you have Rotom, even if you have Scrafty, you know.
Yeah.
I would have loved. I'd like to see like Mr. Rime be anything else, even though it has Fake Out. I don't think it's like that good on this team.
Well, that's
'Cause,
what I
like,
was gonna say. I was gonna say I really like the double Fake Out if there was more setup again.
I would like double Fake Out if the one of the Fake Outers wasn't the premier setup on the team too, because like Scrafty is the setup guy either with coaching or with Dragon Dance.
Which is like nice that there's another Fake Out guy, except it's
You can't double Fake Out with it, yeah. And also like,
I,
and as far as double Fake Out goes, I think having 2 that are 2 speed points away from each other is probably not great. Like Mr. Rime and Scrafty Mega both have practically the same speed tier. I know base Scrafty is 58, but still.
yeah.
I don't love it. I think Mr. Rime feels very superfluous, and I feel like Hippowdon could be a better ground type. And I also think like Sceptile Rotom is incredibly linear. Probably the most linear thing this team can do is just like, yeah, you're gonna click Discharge and Dragon Pulse or Earth Power turn 1. Like that's what's gonna happen. But like,
Right.
it's not necessarily a bad thing for a C tier. I just think that like it's an odd choice on a team that already has Aerodactyl and already has like all these other options
Like
that
the
are
best
strong.
routes.
It just seems like an odd choice. I don't really I don't fully get behind it. There's like no dragon types in C tier though. There's I think 4 total and 3 of them are drafted and the last one is Dragalge Mega. So
Yeah, a dragon type. Well, even
Well,
then you're really leaning into the trick
yeah.
stuff.
I just feel like Sceptile's not that good of a dragon type anyways, but I guess if you want to force a dragon type, it's fine. But like, in a lot of ways, I feel like a lot of picks are either wasted or wasteful on this team. And I just straight up don't like Luxray. I know it has Intimidate. You already have Scrafty for double Intimidate. You do
it's
not
a
need Luxray at
Luxray.
all. You already have an Electric type. You already have an Intimidate Mon. What is Luxray doing here? It's also like the same speed tier as 2 of your other Mons. I genuinely hate Luxray on this team. I feel like I would rather have like Emolga. It would actually do more.
Yeah.
Maybe if Guts was like an actual thing, but it's not because there's no orbs. Yeah, that's my notes. I don't like a lot of this team. I think the top is really strong though. I didn't say that, but like, I mean, if you just bring like these guys every single time, like you bring these 4 every single game, you'll be fine a lot of the time.
I do agree with that.
And then like
I actually
Gardevoir
don't
is
mind.
a common 5th. And then like I guess you bring Hippowdon because Earthquake, but like
Well, right. I was gonna say I know you're anti.
I just think it has some
anti.
anti-synergy with some
but-
of the picks is all.
But the top 3 with Hippowdon, I don't feel like is a bad 4 to be bringing a lot of the time.
Yeah, I guess. I just don't think it uses very Tailwind especially well. Like it's slower than a lot of ones in Tailwind.
You bring it as like a bulky guy.
Yeah, but I think if you're bringing Gardevoir, it becomes easier to bring Hippowdon since it's your Trick Room attacker and Gardevoir's Telepathy.
Yeah.
I really don't like the Sand because I feel like it has a lot of like Rotom's bulk is like good but not great, and then Gardevoir's is kind of the same thing. Gardevoir's actually isn't very good at all, so
it's rough and it's irritating and it
gets everywhere. Yeah, and then you use like recoil moves with Basque, so the Sand chip on yourself is like really relevant, I think, and
yeah.
I would just like to see that be like a Mudsdale, and that'd be an improvement.
Yeah.
Most of these things are minor picks. I just think there's quite a few of them, like quite a few minor picks for me. So for me, at least, that makes this team not as good. Logan is still not back, I think. But if you want to tell me where you would tier this,
You want to trudge on? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll trudge on, and then he can come back and review it, like say his placement afterwards.
I feel okay with this being
You said tier, A tier.
Sorry. Sorry,
No, you're good.
Toxic.
Where are we putting this?
Who's the blue logo? The arch? Is that
Radial. Yeah, the one with the Frostlass team.
Low-key, I feel okay putting this like high C plus. Like,
Above Mathy, but below Radial.
yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Like it could be a B, but honestly the B is feeling kind of crowded.
I mean, B is
It's
crowded,
like-
but if every team is B tier, that's just because every team is B tier, and not because like I don't usually change my tier lists based on the number of things in a tier. Because like truthfully, if everyone drafts a B tier team, then everyone drafted a B tier
Everyone
team. That's
drafted
just being
B.
honest. Yeah. So like if
I
that's your
agree.
reason, then I would put it in B. If that
I
was the
agree,
reason.
but I also feel like our collective feeling is that like there are picks here that we're kind of like we wish
Yeah.
if you were here, we would love to hear you explain the synergies more. You know?
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess giving Spadef boost to Arrow is like something that Hippowdon can do, but like Arrow's special defense is already good, and I don't think it changes many breakpoints to have extra special bulk.
Yeah.
At least not on its own. You'd have to be like a bulky Arrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, that plus the speed gap is the big thing for me that makes this team not as good.
Yeah. So do you feel good about where
I
that
would
is
I
right
would
now?
put it at the very bottom of B, but I also am okay with C plus.
All right. I think either way, those were the two places
We'll
I
put
would
it.
probably
We'll put it. I value you and Logan's opinions more than mine for this because I have more of a bias because I'm the one actually, I have I have more intimacy with it and therefore I've had more time to form opinions rather than like objective analysis.
Very
So
off rip.
yeah, I'm more opinionated than I am at being objective. I think. I mean, I'm trying to be objective, but of course I'm human.
Yeah.
So I think it's fair to put your opinion above mine and therefore put it C plus.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough. We'll go with what the commissioner says.
Wakeman, the second
Wakeman,
Aerodactyl
okay.
team, right next to it.
We've got base Aerodactyl right next to it.
Speaking of
Um,
speed gaps.
In terms of, I was gonna start with roses.
Oh, okay. It's just funny it's funny that both the Arrow teams have like a very similar type of speed gap.
Oh, holy speed tiers. Starting with roses. My impression of this is that it's a really, really cool Mega Excadrill team.
Yeah.
I think you have a lot supporting the Mega Excadrill. Arrow with Excadrill is like a cool. Maybe I'm just like conditioned to think that because that's Victor, the like only other Mega Excadrill team I've seen recently is Arrow and Excadrill. Right.
No, but they do pair well because you can like Earthquake next to it and like they if you're running Mega Excadrill, it's not really taxing the Sash as much as Excadrill usually does, which means that Arrow can run Sash. And like Arrow
Exactly.
can, change weather. If there's like a rain team, you can click Sunny Day with Arrow or Sandstorm. And
You get
yeah.
your Tailwind, you get your Rock Slide for the fire type.
Taunt is really useful. Wide Guard.
Right, exactly.
Because Excadrill is weak to like Muddy Water, Heat Wave, Earthquake, quite a few common spread moves that Excadrill's scared of, so Wide Guard can be quite nice for it.
Yep. For your Excadrill, we talked about having a ground type next to Excadrill specifically, or your ground spammers, or we talked about having a
EQ
Rotom
partners.
next to it.
Yeah, Rotom plus Excadrill is such a fun Disquake mode.
Yep, exactly. And you've got your two physical attackers up there, so you put a Milotic next to it. That's really nice. And then the highlighted Fake Out guy. If you're feeling really cheeky and want a Swords Dance or just get an extra like high horsepower off.
Yeah,
Just reposition.
Something I like about Salazzle Fake Out is that it's fast Fake Out, but also has Oblivious Taunt, so you can use it as like a good way to shut down like Trick Room or Prankster Mons. It lost Poison Gas though, big sad.
Yeah, that would be sad. It still must have Toxic, right?
Yeah, it's just not as funny as clicking Poison Gas into two steel types.
But you can Toxic stall your way down with a Milotic. Like that's very
Yeah, for sure. Or Drampa even, because Drampa has Roost.
Yeah, I think you have a really, really like genuinely these five like are just like a super solid core you could bring almost always. Which I think is really, really cool. The team as a whole, holy speed tiers is kind of what we were saying before because the 36 to 81
yeah, it's rough.
A pretty intense jump.
That's like the majority of Pokemon are in like the 80 to 40 range.
That is a lot of Pokemon. You do have like Trick Room and like Hatterene and Drampa are both like solid Trick Room attackers. I don't even dislike Manectric and Absol as like Pokemon. Like I'm sure that in like a good player's hands, these Pokemon can excel on this team with like a lot of speed control and Fake Out and Tailwind. Like
yeah,
they just don't as like secondary megas to Excadrill. They don't feel like they add a crazy amount.
Manectric adds Intim, but that's kind of it doesn't get Electro Web, which makes me really sad.
Oh right, this I remember. It doesn't get Electro Web.
Does get Overheat, which is kind of neat, but yeah.
Yeah. Intimidate's nice, but you also can Intimidate to help out your Mega Excadrill.
Yeah.
Which is...
It helps out
like,
Milotic, but Milotic can coil anyways, so...
Right, exactly. Helping out Milotic's nice. You can Volt Switch and get the Intimidate on guys to get your Trick Room up, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
That is genuinely cool. But like, I don't know, like Manectric I kind of see a vision for, and it's like nice. It deals with like water types and ground types that if you don't want to like have Excadrill out there. Um, is Absol a D tier?
Yes.
Okay, so like I guess what I'm doing now is complaining about your D tier. So like that's really like
Mm-hmm.
kind of whatever. But like even something to just put in those middling speed tiers, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, D tiers don't matter that much, but with 9 Mons, every Mon does matter. So even if they're like
Right.
not as good, it's still important to have a good one.
I agree. I would love to hear like what you were aiming for. There are definitely some like hype things that like would be help like in terms of just like pure typings. Like when I look at ghost type resists, I see Drampa and then your Absol.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
like
it's like D tier and Mon that is not fitting on your fast mode.
right. So like I get it in a sense. The ground type, I don't know. You have a couple immunities, so like I don't know. There are things in the type chart. Overall, I really love this as a Mega Excadrill team. As like a draft team in particular, I feel like there are just a couple places where I wish that you got more bang for your buck on picks, but that doesn't mean I like have strong feelings. I don't know. It's hard to be like, do you know what I'm trying to say? I'm like, the words are getting jumbled. I don't know if picks that are less value than I want them to be
Mm-hmm.
are a negative hit on the team.
I think it is because it means that the team is easier to prep for, and it makes like countering easier. Because like, if I find a counter that hard counters Rotom plus Milotic, for instance, like I have like a really strong freeze dry guy, like my Vanillux or whatever, and I'm like, oh nice, I don't have to worry about the low tiers mucking up this game plan I have, and that's something that I think is valuable with teams. I think one of my main complaints is that speed gap actually creates a bit of a problem where I think there's a paper tiger, is what I call it, like trick room mode here, where it's like on paper, Drampa Hatterene is really strong as like a trick room duo.
Mhm.
But the question is like, why would you do that with the rest of this team? Like
Yeah.
how often are you actually bringing that? And the answer is occasionally. I think it will come. I originally I thought it would never come, but like I think it'll probably come like once or twice.
I think
It's just like
Yeah,
the
the thing
trigger
that-
mode's really awkward to run, and it's more of a reactive trigger mode, I think, where it's like you're bringing it because your opponent's trigger mode is too good and you need something to counter it, which isn't like bad necessarily, but like it means like the trigger modes that you're not as like careful about, like mons that only have like, I don't know, my team for instance only has like 2 true trigger mons, so if you are like I can ignore trigger versus that, suddenly I get trigger up, and what is this team doing about that? It's hard.
Right.
The taunt Salazzle helps with that, but like, and like Arrow also has taunt, but it's far from like a foolproof way to beat that. I think the high tiers are just really strong with this team though, really solidly like this like T shape here, that's every week and you'll be fine. And in particular, I know this pilot is going to do this 5 every week and be fine because that's exactly the type of team he plays.
Here, let's look at. I agree. The only other thing I'd add to the trick room mode is that like, I don't know. Every time I've looked at Drampa in a builder, like non-draft wise, I'm kind of like, what does normal hit? I see like.
I mean, I can say from experience with Mega Drampa, I almost always run coverage and not actually stabs.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I'm like, this trick room mode is scary until they have a steel type or a ghost type. and then
Yeah,
it, like,
Drampa's main
can take
attacking
over.
move is actually Heat Wave, I think. So
Yeah. Okay. I feel bad skipping over Logan, but also
Logan skipped over Logan by not being here. If Logan wants to go back and talk about these teams, that's also fine. It'll just make the chaptering a little more awkward, but whatever.
yeah. Where would I place this? Honestly, I feel like this is like a B plus.
Okay. Or
B
plus.
Let's see.
So we're looking at it next to Archery seem to be the first one to compare it to, the Floette. Lafayette.
As a main core, I think I like it better than the Floette. I think that's what it is. I think I would move it above the Floette.
Mm-hmm.
I know I personally feel way worse about the middling team, so I'm not gonna be like I'm automatically moving it up, but
Mm-hmm.
I think right there is like a very comfortable
Do you think it's
place
better than
for it. It has
Ed's?
a really, really solid 5, which makes it a really solid good team in my eyes.
What about Ed's
Um,
team, comparatively?
well, Ed's team is the one that I feel pretty lukewarm about.
Mm. So would you put
So
it above? This is just
like,
your
personally,
ranking,
I
and then
would
we'll
put it
average
above,
it.
but I feel like personally, I'd put it above. Personally, I'd put it like there.
Yeah, actually, I've thought about this a lot because this one went back and forth with me and the other people I was talking to, like the other person I was talking to for this list, and like they had a really negative opinion of the team, and I didn't really quite understand. But
Okay.
I originally had too high of an opinion of this team, so I've been bouncing back and forth, and I think I settle around the same area you do. I think it's about there.
Okay.
I actually might say this might be better than Combs' team, only because it's so much more straightforward without being linear.
I
'Cause-
think I do agree with that.
Like, yes, its trigger mode is like only 2 mons, but those 2 mons are pretty good in Trick Room, in fairness.
Yeah.
And like,
I would say
it's.
no, I feel comfortable where it is right now. I think if you felt very strongly about it being higher than Combs' team,
I feel
I feel
moderately strongly. I think this looks more right to me, if that makes sense.
all right, I'm down with that. I do really like the like Aero Mega Exca.
Yeah, and like Milotic as a partner and Rotom as a partner, just very strong. And then I think Salazzle is also very strong as well. In particular, the
Like a really like
second,
it, like kind of has everything you want in a last mon, and it also fulfills the Firewater Grass.
is it the second fastest? No, third fastest non-mega fake out, I think.
What's that?
Yeah, because it's Weavile, Sneasler, Salazzle, so it's like the third fastest fake out that isn't a mega, which is pretty powerful. Oh, I guess there's something else to say, which is like Salazzle and Arrow will be fighting for the Sash a lot, but Arrow's like bulky enough, on the special side at least, to not always need Sash.
Yeah, that's fair. And I also feel like Salazzle is really good, but if Salazzle's really not worth bringing without a Sash, you can also just not bring it and like slap Hatterene and Drampa on there. Your opponent still has to respect it in team preview,
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's fine. Okay, Splash.
Yes.
Um,
Now we're really invading the Logan territory, because this is when he would start.
now I'm encroaching. I'm like, oh no.
Well, he should have thought of that before taking a call for 20 minutes.
That's true. Lame. It's okay. This is helping us speed through a little bit.
True. Okay. This recording's almost at 3 hours.
That's why we gotta speed through. I feel
Don't
bad.
worry, I can trim 5 minutes out of the bathroom break. It's fine.
Oh, God.
Anyways,
Oh, God. I think we should talk about the bathroom break for another few minutes.
to give them context for what they missed.
Yeah.
Okay.
honestly.
Go over Splash's team.
Splash's team. I don't have a lot of notes.
Interesting.
I think I
Like, you don't have a lot to say, or you just couldn't think of how to put it?
a little bit of both. The physical offense, the fast offense, is very scary. The Dragon Ball Sneasler core is a spooky one, right? And then you've got the Kang fake out. You've got double fake out with those guys. That is scary. Yeah, Gliscor's there.
He has Tailwind, so he can fit on in on that mode. Not one.
Like,
I will
scary.
say, just real quick, I think this seems really funny because this is like the most anti-intimidate team I think I've ever seen in
I will
Champions.
say, yeah.
Because it's like
It is really
1,
how-
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Pokemon all are like anti-intim in some
Oh, I didn't
way.
even think of Sneasler as anti-intimidate.
White Herb Unburden, yeah. White Herb Unburden is like, oh, I guess I just gave that Sneasler a speed boost and it didn't lower its attack. So it's like,
That's awesome.
so it's like, do not bring Intimidate versus this team. Do not do it. Don't do it. Just, it's a bad idea.
Like,
It will not go well.
I really like the fast mode. I really like Kangaskhan and Trick Room.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got a couple good like Trick Room guys. I don't understand the Abomasnow and Crabominable,
Like both.
like both on the team.
I
Like-
happen to know this person, and they told me that they just picked Abomasnow because they needed a grass type, and it was like one of two. It was like this and
Yeah.
Vileplume base.
See, that's fair because my next comment was like a ground type is scary.
Mm-hmm.
So on its face, what's that? Your second ground resist behind Gliscor?
Yeah.
Like, I do honestly get that. Which, like, I don't know, just looking at the team, I'm kind of like, it feels a little redundant. Crabominable hits, I think, semi-reasonably hard because it's still Iron Fist.
Yeah, it has
Yeah,
like
like, honestly,
130 attack or something like that.
132.
132. Yeah, with
But
Iron
that's
Fist, Ice Hammer.
so, like, it still hits hard. Like, Abomasnow is really the thing that kind of, like, sticks out like a sore thumb to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but honestly, if that's my only, like, major gripe with the team, Empoleon, I think Empoleon, Gliscor are the lowest tiers, but Gliscor A is like a
Empoleon
decent
C.
ground city.
Yeah. Gliscor
B
for
is
D tier
low.
Tailwind is, I think, it's like this and Pidgeot, I think, are the only two D tier
Yeah,
Tailwind mons.
and Gliscor I think has carried its weight in like different
Yeah, I'm
in
just
different
scrolling through it to see. Oh, Toucannon. Toucannon's also here.
yeah, I would pick Gliscor over Toucannon also.
Yeah.
Um,
But I'm just saying, like, these are the Tailwind options in this tier, and
yeah.
it is one of, like, 3,
Beedrill get
so...
Tailwind?
No.
No.
No. But yeah, it's base Pidgeot, Gliscor, and, what's it called? Toucannon, so definitely the best Tailwinder in that tier.
Yeah. In that way, Gliscor's not bad. And then Empoleon's just like A, a solid Pokemon, B, a lot of great resistances. Just
I
like a
hate
very like
Empoleon, but yes, I acknowledge it's a
you
good
hate
Pokemon.
Empoleon?
I hate Empoleon. Every time I've drafted this guy twice, and I hated him both times.
Empoleon's also just what you've got two ghost types, you've got two ghost types, you've got it's
2
another
ice
ground
types.
which is bad.
It's 2
But
ghost,
like
2 ice, 2 fighting if you're thinking about doubled up typings.
well I'm just thinking like is Empoleon well support like can Empoleon like
Okay.
do what it wants to do and switch in on the things that other guys are like weak to? And the answer is like, yeah, for the most part, besides the ground types and the fighting types.
Which are the 2 scariest things for it, but yes.
Yeah, exactly. No, I feel like when I look at the speed tiers of this team,
Mm-hmm.
it's way closer together than actually thinking about how this team's gonna operate.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what's giving me pause, and I think that's why I'm like, do I like that or do I not like that? And the answer is I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I'm a big believer in like Kangaskhan, Aromatisse, Empoleon, Crabominable as the Trick Room mode, and then
Yeah.
super afraid Sneasler,
Something
Kangaskhan.
Aromatisse has like one specific tech that makes it fun as like a mono trigger mode is that it gets after you. You can like after you one
Yeah.
of your big fast attackers to attack in trick room.
Oh, no, I didn't even think about that. So you can genuinely run fake out Sneasler next to Aromatisse and then actually do like damage with the Sneasler.
Yeah, you're probably dying in the process of doing that, but yes, you
I
can do
mean,
that.
then you get to bring in Crabominable, which like is better for you.
Yeah.
You know?
You can after you coaching
Um,
your own Aromatisse.
that honestly set up Aromatisse, that's a guy. That's been around.
Yeah, he does get Draining Kiss and
Plus
Wish.
1 defense and Calm Mind.
Yeah, gets
Well, you can't
Thunderbolt.
Calm Mind just after you'd, but
But no, yeah, anyways, like being serious.
yeah. What do you think, Victor?
I don't like the 3 different doubled up typings. I think fighting is actually one of the best typings to double up on because if you get 2 different fighting types like Sneasler and then a guy who's not weak to psychic, it's like in my opinion, Sneasler plus a dark fighting type is actually a really good combo because like Scrafty Sneasler for instance cover each other very well despite both being fighting types.
Yeah.
The only weakness they share is flying.
Yeah.
And then like I think it's nice to have like multiple options for fighting because close combat's just such a broken move and coaching is such a great move. So having like multiple ways of doing that is great. But like
Yeah.
Crabominable doesn't really do coaching. That's not a thing he does. And like he does do close combat, but like he shares all of his weaknesses with Sneasler, I think, in terms of like flying psychic fairy or sorry, flying psychic ground. It doesn't share the ground weakness, but it does share the flying and psychic ones, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And
Crabominable's not a bulky.
I mean he's not frail, but he's not like crazy
Not
bulky
frail,
either.
but like
He's the classic like trick room guy of like if you give him a lot of invest, he can be bulky.
yeah.
And then like I agree, but Abomasnow's kind of a nothing pick. I also think Chandelure's kind of a nothing pick because I feel like if you're going Trick Room, you're going Aromatisse, and like Chandelure's a good Scarfer on this team. I just wish it was like any other B tier fire type that would probably be better. I feel like there's probably better options. I don't know if there is, but I'm just saying this. Let me check.
I'm gonna say I don't disagree with you. I just think that like
Like
when I
Blade.
think of people that work in Trick Room and Tailwind and are fire types, like Chandelure does fit.
I don't think it
like,
needs to
yeah.
work in Trick Room for this team though. Skeledirge is in that tier. Probably wouldn't do Skeledirge over it though. The whole point is that I don't want two ghost types. I suppose it's like Blaziken basically, and Infernape are the only other fire options left over right now.
Blaziken's like, well, that's a third fighting type.
Yeah, you would drop Crabominable for that for sure. But like, yeah, I don't know. I feel mixed about Chandelure, I guess. He's a good Scarfer though, and this team does need a Scarfer, so that's something.
It also needs some sort of fire resist, which
Yeah,
Chandelure
the type
is
chart
pretty-
really is not good on this. I will say in terms of
No,
like
it's not.
it's a
It's like
very
a lot of
empty
pieces
chart.
that don't see each other.
Kangaskhan is realistically your only ghost answer because you don't have a dark type, and like honestly, most of these mons don't even learn like good dark type moves. I think Crab learns knockoff, but like Empoleon doesn't learn anything good dark. Abomasnow doesn't. Chandelure is a ghost type, so you'd rather choose ghost moves. Discord learns knockoff, I think. Sneasler
sure,
has
it's
throat
the thing.
chop.
It used to be its thing.
Polt is a ghost type, so it uses ghost type moves, and Kangaskhan has sucker punch. Yeah, I guess there's enough dark moves here to like cover that gap a little bit, but only versus frail dark types. I don't think any of them are like incredibly hard hitting dark options.
Yeah.
If Psyspam existed, this team would get a big no-no from me because it's so Psyspam weak. But luckily, no one drafted that, and there's no auto Psyspam, so it's fine.
Yeah. What do you mean? A weirder Meowstic?
I think like steel types could be an issue for this team in general, just because like Abomasnow, Empoleon, Aromatisse,
You got the
and
two fighting types?
no, yeah, but like I think like Sneasler's really frail, and Abomasnow is kind of tied to the slow mode. So if you know a mid game steel type could actually be a problem.
Yeah. I think that kind of right there, that example is kind of how I feel about the team. It's like, yes, you've got everything you need, but one thing is frail and the other thing's tied to being slow, and so like,
Mm-hmm.
do I love it or do I hate it?
I'm an Empoleon hater because I feel like it never does enough damage unless it gets the competitive boost, which is not in your control. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad mon though. I think it's fine. It does make your type chart better whenever you have it. It's like one of those type chart fixer uppers like Rotom. But yeah, I don't know. I don't love Empoleon being your only flying resist as well. Like flying isn't the most common offensive typing in champions, but it is common enough to be like, oh, no flying resist. I guess I just click flying move and win.
Yeah.
And the
I just
fast
feel
mode
like
in general has like I wouldn't say it's frail, I guess, but it's like it's definitely on the frailer side of like you know, Sneasler just randomly gets one shot by psychic moves on the special side, and its physical defense isn't great. So if it gets it by a physical super effective move, it dies.
To me,
Dragapult
the really
is
good and the really bad of this team like balance each other out.
yeah, it's just it's a very odd team to talk about, but I think we've said all there is to say. So where would you put it?
Like, I don't know. Like, the things I like about this team make me feel like it's a B plus, and the things I don't like about it make me feel like it's a C plus. I think I'd put it at the end of B.
At the end
I
of
think
B?
that's where I fall.
I think it's better than Radial's team, and that's it. Because if you look at Radial's team,
Yeah, I'd be.
I think at least the value is more spread out than Radial's team is, I guess the way I'd put it.
Yes, I agree. It's a little less. It's not quite top heavy, not the word, but mega heavy.
Yeah, it's not as protect the king.
I
Speaking
think
of mega heavy, is it better than Phoenix's team?
so far this team, no, I'm willing to put it there. I think Phoenix's team has the like sand core that like is
Mhm.
consistent. Like I think that's a good word for it. I'm worried that the good pieces of this team will not be consistent. I think this team is the one I'd be most excited to see like how it ends up playing, or like how the builds look from week to week.
Okay. And moving
Okay.
on to Mario.
Mario's team. I personally really, really like Mario's team.
Interesting.
And that might just be because it is the meta Raichu team.
It's not entirely that, but it is similar in a lot of ways, yeah.
I was like, oh my god, I understand how all the pieces fit together, you guys. Like, oh my, you guys, but the Raichu paralyzes the Pokemon so that the Sylveon can move before them and get off a Fairy type attack. Like,
Or you go for fake out Trick Room and then switch out Raichu. Yeah.
right, and like, you guys, but you have like, but you can go fast, and if they want to priority attack you, you switch in the Farigiraf. Like, how did nobody think of this before? Like,
It's true.
um,
Helping Hand,
I
Zapcan,
do
and
really
goodbye Pokemon.
right. Like, I feel like Mario did like I feel like Mario did a good job getting those mid-tier speed guys that can work in Tailwind Trick Room. Right. That's kind of the like meta core, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I think not only are those 4 guys really good together, there is enough flexibility in how you can run them each week. Burgeraf stats are like you can run that super offensive, super defensive. Same with Sylveon. You can run your fairy moves, but you can also run Dazzling Gleam if you need soundproof answers. Like you can run
Or
Yawn.
Moonblast.
Right, exactly. Arcanine, I kind of scoff at Hisuian Arcanine's defensive profile, but like you can run
This
Intimidate.
this
Like,
isn't an Intimidate team though. This is a Sash Arcanine team if I've ever seen one. This is
yeah,
Sash
I
Head
agree.
Smash.
But like if you needed a Flash Fire guy, like Arcanine could totally be that. Well,
Yeah.
it's
It's
just
okay
Fire
at Flash Fire.
we talked
It's
about.
no,
Like,
it's more about getting the boost than it is about being immune. So like you
yeah.
switch in on a fire move and then click Flare Blitz with the boost.
Anyway, no, I agree with you. I'm like taking back my own words, but the Mons are versatile enough in themselves, and they work really well together. I love Mega Golurk as like a I am going to get Trick Room up Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
You drafted Farigiraf. The way to get the most use out of that is to make opponents fear Trick Room, and I think that Golurk does a great job at that. I also think that Golurk excels when you don't have to worry about Sucker Punch,
Mm-hmm.
and Farigiraf means that's great.
Oh, I'm
Um,
sorry. There's also a 4th Tailwind in D tier. I forgot about Skarmory.
yes, the Skarmory. Yeah, I really like Golurk as a Trick Room guy. I respect Toxicroak as both as a mid-tier, mid-speed tier fake out guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think having a fake out guy that's not Raichu is super helpful. I think it can support Farigiraf. I also think that you get that like King Gambit game with Toxicroak, where you have to fear the like fighting move and the Zap Cannon, but you also have to fear the fake out and the Zap Cannon, but you also have to fear the fake out from the Raichu and the Swords Dance on the Toxicroak. So I really like that. Overall, my feeling is I wish there was another really fast guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried that this team is so Trick Room centric, or a lot of the pieces are so Trick Room centric, that I don't think that like Tailwind in itself will be a problem. Like if you're fighting Whimsicott, you're bringing Trick Room, so like I'm not worried intrinsically about like getting outsped in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But Raichu is not going to stick around for a lot of turns, probably.
No,
And
I mean he's
so,
getting probably 1, maybe 2 cannons off and then dying.
right, exactly. And then after that, the opponent doesn't need like a Tailwind; they just need their fast guy in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my biggest note about this team. But I do really like the way it's constructed. Your take?
I think I don't like some aspects of this team. In particular, I will just highlight the thing I don't like. This. Why is over half our team in the 60 to 55 point range? That's so easy to either
Feel it's
speed creep
redundant.
or speed under creep. I think like Decidueye is probably the easiest one of those guys to drop. I don't really love Decidueye on this team. I feel like it's just here because a grass type was necessary, and it sure is a grass type.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like obligate because I don't really think Clawitzer Decidueye Arcanine is a real fire water grass core at all. Especially because Arcanine doesn't have a lot of like great defensive traits in terms of for like running a balanced core. Arcanine tends to fit on offensive teams. Arcarsui, I mean, tends to fit on
Right.
more offensive teams just due to the fact that like it has head smash and a higher attack stat, and being a rock type just makes you more offensive by necessity. And yeah, I don't know. I like these guys together. Like I think this is probably the 6 you bring most weeks.
Yeah.
And then like Clawitzer, and I actually like Clawitzer. I'm a big Claw fan. I call myself the Claw Collector sometimes because I drafted it 4 times in a row in one league.
The Claw fan.
The Claw Collector, and
Claw Lector.
I didn't like Skarmory for Tailwind at first, but then I was like, well, Raichu teams don't really need Tailwind in the first place, and if you're gonna get a D tier, I guess like sturdy Tailwind isn't actually a bad thing. So yeah, I mean like, the more I thought about this team, the less I was able to like nitpick it. I don't like the speed tiers, but I think that might just come with the territory of running for Graf Sylveon. That's just gonna be what happens. I'm not entirely sure. I think just changing Decidueye to something else was the main thing I would do. But yeah, it's actually a better team than I gave it credit for when I first did my own personal tier list because I put this team in like C tier, like C plus tier, and I was like, oh okay, you know, maybe I'm being too mean. I'm being too mean. So where would you rank
agree.
this?
I feel like, yeah, Loki, I'd put it in A.
Oh, that's very
would I
high.
put it in A plus?
That's very high. That's extremely high. Way higher than I was expecting.
I really like it. I'm super down for this Waichu Farigiraf thing.
My thing is like Scarfers versus this team are very, very scary because you can trick a Scarf onto Farigiraf, or you can Icy Wind them and then Raichu explodes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Like a Scarfer with Icy Wind, like that kind of.
I mean, any speed control move really, or a move that just one-shots Raichu like Earthquake.
Exactly.
There's no redirect on this team, so it's harder to get Trick 'em up in front of stuff like Trick.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm a big fan. What are you feeling?
I would put it right here. No, I would put it right here. No, I think I like Wickman's team a little more. I like Wickman's team a little more. I feel like Mario has a hard time dealing with positive speed control when Farigiraf isn't clicking Trick Room. So if Farigiraf can't click Trick Room, either because of Taunt or Imprison or Roar or Trick Scarf, something like that can really shut it down in a way that like Wakeman's team isn't as prone to. Because if you go Trick Room versus Wakeman's team, he can definitely bring his anti-Trick Room Mons, or he can bring his multiple different really good fast Taunt users that naturally fit on the fast mode without like changing the game plan at all.
Yeah.
I feel like he has more counterplay to what he's weak to than Mario does, in my opinion. Although Mario seems definitely better than like if I were doing like a slider bar, there'd be like a notable gap. There'd be like a pretty close gap between Mario and Wakeman, but a pretty notable gap between Mario and like Luki, because I think Combs' team is just less consistent than these two.
I see that. Yeah.
Also, the Skarmory players are holding hands.
I do like the Skarm players next to each other. Okay, I feel strongly about it being higher, but also like
I'm willing to put it above Wakeman. I think Wakeman's is better, but I'm also willing to hear that. I don't think it's A tier though. I really don't think it's A tier. I think it's like too. It's like that's the Scarfer weakness is a pretty glaring thing for me, I think.
Yeah, and I think what you're saying about it being like linearly like, okay, how do I deal with the Raichu? Then how do I deal about with the Trick Room is like.
Yeah, if you deal with those two things, it shuts down a lot of the team.
Yeah. I think that's fair. We're still Loganless.
I know. I was kind of hoping that Logan would come back right the moment you left so that we could do one without you to get revenge.
Yeah, that would be. I would respect it. I honestly, Logan's due for 2.
All right, and we are back from break. I'm gonna cut this here. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Do you wanna go off with Alex's team?
Yes. Let me go off on Alex. Honestly, this is where my notes like truly run out. My notes for Alex is very Alex, hits hard. And
very Alex because it has a low bunny.
Honestly, maybe that's what like. There's something about the Lopunny, the Volk, the Meowscarada, and the Goldango that's like screaming Alex to me. Alex's team has a lot of scary picks. It has a lot of really hard hitters, and I like both of those things. I like the utility options that tie them together, like the Blastoise, with Fake Out and Flip Turn as it needs to, the fake out on the Lopunny and the Encore, and the Volcarona Rage Powder stuff. I don't fully see the vision on Runerigus and Mega Audino. I think that's kind of my biggest gripe. I feel like Glamora is just like a good Pokemon. It could use some like extra Tailwind support. Volcarona has Tailwind. It's like a fine Tailwinder. I think I'm thinking that Alex wanted to build a Trick Room mode, like a low tier Trick Room mode. But Runerigus doesn't have the same powder that the same power that something like Dragalge would have. Mega Audino can set up, but
You
I don't
know,
know.
if Alex hadn't gotten very unlucky, it would have won week 1 with setup Audino. So
Really,
yeah, yeah.
here I am trashing Mega Audino setup. Like, I don't think it's bad. I just think it's like better when there's something actively distracting you. Like those Snorlax Audino teams where like
I've never
you
seen one
can't
of
ignore the
those.
Snorlax, but, like, huh?
I've never seen one of those.
It was like you get the Snorlax into position to do some. I don't remember if it was cursing or it was doing something where
Stockpile,
like you
probably.
had to stop the Snorlax. Right, exactly. And then the Audino starts Calm Minding next to it, and you're kind of like, okay, like I can't handle both at the same time.
Yeah, I see. And
But
Electros Coil doesn't count for you for that?
it just like not like you could simple beam your Electros to.
Oh yeah, I get it. It gets Simple Beam. I forgot about that.
I guess what the vision is that it's cheap, it's a secondary mega, and you can simple beam Volcarona.
It is a
with
D
it.
tier fairy type is a big thing about it.
Yeah, like I don't hate it as a pit. Like I do like Mega Audino. I don't know when I would ever bring it over. Like, well, I guess Alex did bring it over Lopunny one game.
Yeah, if you're going
Um,
Trick Room mode, it's a better mega for Trick Room mode.
Yes, yes. And it gets after you, as you were saying earlier, so you can
Mhm.
like Nasty Plot, Trick Room.
Yeah, even without a Citrus Berry, it's a perfectly usable base form Pokemon.
Yeah, totally.
Especially for a D tier, I think is the other thing, because you don't need to get that much value from its base form for it to still be worth.
Yeah. I feel like I think that's the thing. I think you have everything you need. I kind of wish some of these things added more to the team. Like I don't know what Electros is adding besides like
Trick Room, Disquake.
a checkbox. I guess that's what Runerigus and Electros are doing. It's Disquake stuff. I feel like some of the later picks, instead of specializing in one thing, like instead of finding a C tier that like specialized in XYZ, it was like, well, I want to check off my like ground immunity and I want to check off my electric type, so I'll get Electros. Or oh, I'm weak to fightings, I could use another ghost type. Runerigus is on the board, let's grab that. Which I think is a way to draft a really cohesive team. And like objectively, I feel like this is a very cohesive team with a lot of flexibility. So I like it.
I like that
Obviously, I
there's
would
like
not use-
5 Scarfers.
Mhm.
There's like 5 Scarfers, realistic. I guess
That's true.
Blastoise is probably never Scarfing, but it's funny that you could do that.
Which is not, I feel like on this sort of team, that's not a bad thing because like you can run Glomora without Scarf. You know, you can run Meowscarada without Scarf. Like between Scarf, Life Orb, and Sash, like those are good items on Meowscarada, Goldengo, and Glomora every week. So I like that. I'm trying to think if I have any other major qualms. Like, I think there's just a part of me that feels a little underwhelmed, but I don't even know why. I do just really like all the pieces the more I think about it.
Is it this? Is it the offensive stats being kind of lackluster on the physical side in particular?
Like, maybe, but even so, like, maybe that's what it is. But Meowscarada is immune to Intimidate, and, like, Flower Trick's a pretty powerful move. You have a really powerful knockoff. Lopunny's, obviously hurt by the lack of a return, but you still get scrappy close combats, which are great. you have a Goldengo and a Glamora to deal with the fairy types that Lopunny doesn't want to deal with, and Sludge Bomb from Goldengo / Make It Rain from, or Sludge Bomb from Glamora / Make It Rain from Goldengo are both great, powerful moves. Like, it has the raw power if you want it. It has the utility that you want. It has the setup potential. It's a little bit frail. Like, you have Blastoise and you have your bulky, slower Trick Room guys. It's a little bit frail besides that, but like,
Mm-hmm.
you can spec Goldengo to take hits. You can spec Volk to take hits. Low-key, you're going to be specking Mega Lopunny to take hits because it's so fast.
It has 95 in both defenses, I think. It's like not super frail. Yeah, 94, 96.
Yeah.
Like it's not it's not hard to make this thing lift things if you're not clicking close combat and killing yourself.
Yeah, and like if you run into a week where like the other team has one super fast guy that you don't feel like outspeeding, and
Or if
the
they
next
just don't
guy
have a fast
takes
guy.
one
We've seen a couple
slow.
teams like that.
Right, like you can spec Mega Lop however the really, really fast guys. I love having a really, really fast guy on the team.
Yeah, like hypothetically, I know base form Aerodactyl exists, but imagine this team, you have no need to run any speed invest on it if you don't want to.
Right. Right, exactly. So like, I don't know. I do really like the team. I think the pieces all come together well. I think it's really well constructed.
Mm.
A couple of the picks independently are a little underwhelming, but like,
Yeah,
but you know, I'm sorry that I'm not the biggest Electros fan.
it's okay. I'm a big Electros fan, so I can make up for both of us. Behold, Type Chart Fixer. He has 4 resists, 0 weaknesses. Let's go with Type Chart Fixer. We love John
gonna
Type
say
Type John Type Chart.
Maybe that's why, because I'm like, he's John type chart, but he doesn't add anything.
No, he does add something. I think Coil is actually quite useful on a Quiver Dance team because it's like the opposite side of the spectrum. Because like there's no real bulk up user here, so it's nice to have the opposite. I think Lopunny can do bulk up, but like, yeah, you could do like
Yeah,
Drain
I thought
Punch
it only got
bulk
work
up.
up.
Oh, it doesn't. You're right. Does it get Sword Stance? It does get Sword Stance. So you can do Sword Stance, Drain Punch.
Swords Dance is scary.
Yeah, well, like, it has setup options, but it's on the fast mode, so having a slow mode equivalent to that, to Quiver Dance Volk, I think is powerful, because it makes it hard to counter both.
Yeah.
And it's, in general, Drain Punch, Coil, Eel is just a hard thing to deal with, because it has no weaknesses, so if you can't hit it for a lot of neutral damage quickly, you're gonna eventually get run over.
You stick it next to Heal Pulse Autono, like.
Yeah, or you just do, you have, like, double Fake Out on this team with Blastoise and Lopunny, so it's easy enough to get it set up. Volcarona has like Rage Powder and Tailwind, so you can set it up in that way as well.
Yeah.
It's cool. I think Glamora is kind of an underwhelming pick on this team, mostly just because like it doesn't really do anything that you don't already have. It's yet another middling speed tier special attacker. Like if it had Meteor Beam, I would like it a lot more, but unfortunately no Power Herb in the game right now. So, but like yeah, it would be nice if it had Power Herb Meteor Beam, but without that, I feel like it's just kind of lacks definition, I guess. It's a good Sasher though, and this team, the only other Sasher is like Volcarona and maybe Meowscarada, but Meowscarada likes being offensive item a lot of the time, or Scarf, so just as often as it's Sash.
Yes, and I feel like Goldengo, Lopunny, and Meowscarada in particular are all Pokemon that love doing like 80%
Yeah.
to opposing Pokemon, and Glamora is kind of the perfect glue. Like if you have like Glamora is the Pokemon you want on a team where you're doing 80% to everything, you know?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you right now, I've spoken to Alex, and Alex is heavily considering doing Cleavor over Glamora, and I would actually prefer that personally.
That
as,
would
like,
also take away, and it gives you a second Tailwind option.
yeah,
which
it
I
takes
do like.
pressure off of Volcarona to be the Tailwind guy. I think that's pretty nice.
Alex can be the bug guy. He only has 2 bugs, but he can be the bug guy.
That's still a lot more bugs than most teams. I mean, the team
Yeah.
next to it has no bug.
True. The anti-bug guy.
Yeah, but I think there's a really funny sequence here. This has no bearing on the placement. I just think it's really funny. You can go like Trick Room mode with Audino, right? And your opponent protects on last turn of Trick Room because it's last turn of Trick Room. And then you Shell Smash with Blastoise and Simple Beam yourself. And then Trick Room ends and you have +4/+4 Blastoise.
Yes. Yes, do it. Do it, Alex. Do it.
It would be so funny. It would be
Alex, how many weeks are there?
9. He has 9 chances. 8 more chances.
8 more chances, Alex. You already did the setup Audino. It failed. Clearly, the next logical step
Is to Simple Beam Shell Smash.
Simple Beams Shell Smash.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything more to say. Where'd you put
Yeah,
it?
where are we putting this?
I think it's a very solid team. Where would you put it though?
I agree with that. I think it's in the AA plus range.
Okay. Do you think it's better than my
Logically,
team?
when
I
you
think
think
it's the
about it.
comparison point because my team's on the edge of that as well.
Yes. Low key, I think it feels I think I would put it above your team, but still in A tier is kind of how I feel about it.
Okay. Like I said, I'm not allowed to have an opinion on my team. I also was gonna put it in
You're
A.
wrong. You're wrong.
I won't say that because I'm not allowed to have an opinion on my team. Yeah, I think I like this team. If the Cleavor change goes through, I might think it's better than mine, but
That's fair.
without the Cleavor, I don't think Glimmer is amazing. It's fine, but it's not like amazing. It's just fine.
That's fair. I'm a Glimora lover, so I could be
I
I
just
could be out of line.
I feel like having it on this team where there's like modest Volcarona and timid Dango have almost the same speed tier, so covering for all three is
Yeah.
actually kind of easy. Because modest Volcarona is 152, I believe,
Mhm.
and what's it called? Glamora's 151, and then Goldango is 149. So we're like, you just hit 153 and you outspeed all of those guys,
Yeah.
which also happens to be pretty close to the speed tier to outspeed Tailwind Blastoise, I think.
Okay, so it all kind of
Yeah, because
worked.
let me double check. I believe Blastoise. No, Blastoise is the same as Guy, so it's no, you wouldn't be quite fast enough.
130.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't be quite fast enough at all. But like, yeah, I mean, you could outspeed quite a lot of important things with just a guy at 153, which isn't like a deal breaker, but it is annoying. I think. I just think like Cleavor has the same problem, but at least Cleavor has Tailwind, which helps make up for it, and it's I think a better Scarfer than Glamora, just by virtue of having
Yeah,
Sheer Force Rock
very
Slide.
much better Scarfer.
Sheer Force Rock Slide is so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is fine though. I don't really care either way. And then we're on to
Yeah.
Toby's team.
Toby's team bringing us home. I love a lot of pieces on Toby's team. I really like. I think you have a very clear rain mode with Politoed, Dragonite. This is the first rain team we've gotten, which is kind of cool.
It is, yeah, because the Pelipper went undrafted.
Yeah. You went with Politoed, which is fair. I like Politoed, and then Dragonite and Overquill are your rain guys.
Yeah, it's a very funky rain team, isn't it?
Yes. The thing that this rain team is missing is a second water type.
Yeah.
To me is
Liquidation, liquidation, Overquill.
Liquidation Overquill is your water type. Honestly, in a
Weather
Terra
Ball
format,
Dragonite
this
is
a
probably the one.
fantastic team. I guess like you can get water coverage. It's just like I don't know. It would be nice to have like you get your Thunders with Manectric too. Like I don't know. It's like fine, but like it would be nice to have like a Swift Swim guy. I wonder if the Swift Swim guys were just not available. Or if you were like, I have a Swift Swim guy, I want to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
The Trick Room mode's kind of the other piece here. Oranguru Mawile, I think, is a pretty cool like offensive Trick Room side, with Oranguru Garganackle being a good defensive Trick Room side. I think Garg's kind of a fun pick here. I like it as like a late game stuff, or not late game, but like I like it as like a bulky Trick Room guy for what it is. But I also appreciate the wide guard support it gives both Mawile and Dragonite. I think those are two nice pieces. Yeah, I guess there really aren't other Swift Swim guys. The Swift Swim guys are all high tiered except Beartick and Quillfish. You already got Overquill, which I think is a better choice. The type chart isn't amazing on this team. You do have one ground resist and it's Dragonite, even though it's a rain team. Like the ground resist is kind of rough. Espeon and Phalanx are like nice for the speed tiers. I feel like there were a couple things you could have done. You could have built on the modes you'd already started, or kind of built a new mode
Mm-hmm.
between Espeon, Manectric, and Phalanx. And instead you got like cool guys.
Yeah.
So like I think they will do cool things, you know. Espeon's a very good like what comes to mind first for me is like light screen reflect guy, and Espeon's got a good like special attack stat, so it can like hit the things you want it to hit.
Mm.
Phalanx is pretty good to have as an anti-intimidate guy. And it like can set up if you like can give it a moment to set up. And Manectric again can rip those thunders and snarls and stuff in, and even thunder waves for Mawile. I didn't realize it was 105 speed, which is pretty cool. But I do wish, I guess, those three guys incorporated with the rest of the team a little bit.
Which three guys? Sorry, I kind of zoned out.
Phalanx, Espeon, Manectric.
Oh, yes, yes. I mean, Manectric at least pairs well with Politoed.
Yes, Manectric certainly has the most synergy out of them, but like
If only Manectric had
And
Electro Web, it would
Manectric.
actually be really nice here. But without Electro Web,
Yeah.
it does struggle to find a role.
you just get Thunderwave action.
Yeah, it's just not as good as Electro Web.
Yeah. Yeah, those are my feelings. Victor, do you have strong feelings?
Yeah, my strong feelings are that I think it's cool. I think it's a cool team. I think it has the single scariest like 2-mon trigger mode of the league, because Mawile plus Oranguru is like, I'm gonna play with an Oko both of your mons.
I agree.
But yeah, I feel like the word I'm looking for is shallow. I feel like all the modes are shallow. I feel like the rain mode is kind of shallow. Not really, honestly. I think that's probably the
It's
deepest part of the
relatively
team.
Shallow to what you'd expect for.
Yeah,
like,
it's not a committed rain team, which is what it looks like when you're looking at it on the surface, but it really isn't.
Yeah.
It's just like Politoed is the water type on this team, and if you're bringing it, you can click Hurricane with Dragonite, and Mawile isn't just afraid of fire types. But I think just as often as you bring Switchum, you'll be bringing into him on Overquill. So
Right.
I think Phalanx is actually kind of garbage on this team. I would drop Phalanx, especially because it's a C tier. Like you could get a C tier fighting type that does a lot more, like Quaquaval or something.
Yeah.
Quaquaval is in fact C tier on this tier list, even though it shouldn't
I
be.
guess what Mawile struggles into fire types, which you have your rain mode for. It struggles into
Ground types,
steel,
which
ground and steels, which if you want to think-
Dragonite is not good into either of those. Actually, I guess Dragonite's good into ground because Weather Ball, but like, yeah, the rain
Yeah,
mode
but
does
also-
cover Mawile well, just not necessarily steals well.
Yeah.
So like switching Phalanx to a fighting type you'll actually bring would help, I think. Like Quaquaval, I think is a good choice.
Yeah.
It'd make the type chart worse, but genuinely, who cares?
But I think I don't know. I think the word shallow you used is a good one, because like
Mhm.
if I'm thinking of the rain mode, I bring Politoed, I bring
Dragonite,
Overquill, I bring Dragonite, and then I bring who?
probably Oranguru or Espeon,
Like,
just like
sure,
some
right?
some
Like-
default guy at the last. It's less like it doesn't fit in the mode at all. It's just there.
Exactly. Or like Manectric, which is like fine, but maybe you don't want it every single time. And same with Trick Room. You bring Mawile, you bring Oranguru, you bring Politoed, I guess. But then you're already like seeping into the hybrid like rain Trick Room. So it is a really cool team. It's really unique. I really, really like the ingenuity of it. And I love Oranguru. That's my guy.
Yeah.
I'm like definitely biased towards Oranguru.
Okay.
Um
I don't think there's anything else to say. Where do you want to put it?
Let me see.
Oh wait, does this team have no fake out? Yes, that's something else to say about this team. No fake out.
It has no fake out, no redirection, which is
Yeah.
why like Trick Room's kind of tough.
Espeon and
Um,
Manectric, and probably also, I would consider Phalanx. All three could be considered for any fake out user. Even Garg,
Were there-
honestly. Like Garg isn't great here. Garg isn't great in general, sadly. Kind of mid now.
No,
He's kind of
I
bad.
agree. Genuinely, if you put fake out on this, like one fake out guy, I don't know if there are any left, but like that would
Surely.
make Phalanx more valuable.
I know there are many D tier fake outs because all of the monkeys are still available in D tier, and Meowstic
Monkey.
female, Pikachu. I would draft Pikachu, but yeah,
Are monkeys 110 or 101 speed? They're 101 speed,
102
aren't
102 speed.
they? The
They
team is
speed
kind of slow,
tie.
but you have a really reliable Tailwinder and you have Swift Swim. So like
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of fine.
Yeah. But yeah, like Quaquaval for Phalanx would be a good trade, I think.
Yeah, that would be super. Oh, Quaquaval and Rain. Oh, that'd be super interesting.
You can also coaching Mawile.
Mm-hmm.
Heliolisk could also be, I think, better than Garg, and you can keep your electric type that way, and it has rain synergy because dry skin, but also it's just like a generically good Shed-Tail mon. Because I think Shed-Tail with Dragonite in particular is disgusting because you get the multi-scale on the Shed-Tail. So like,
and Dragon, I think, kind of the
yeah. So like, if I were the one making this team, I think like, this would raise it probably 2 whole ratings for me in terms of like 2 whole tiers. If I did like Heliolisk, Simisage, and Quaquaval. And like, how does that feel? I feel like that feels much better.
Some of that Tricker mode, but like
The Tricker mode is still
Garg,
really solid, I think.
it's just the 2-mon Tricker mode.
Yeah, it's just
Why
like
would
Garg isn't scary in Tricker anyways, though. I think is my thought process.
Yeah, I kind of agree. It's more of a bulk guy. Well,
I just feel like this
yeah,
looks a lot better distributed.
yeah. You can run like slow Quack if need be.
Yeah.
Or Politoad's pretty slow. Like
Yeah, Politoed 70 is like the exact speed tier where it cut off for being slow enough to be like considered a Trickermon for me, at least in Champions.
I don't disagree. I think it's a good tier if nothing else.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think this would look better, but that's not what we're looking at. We're looking at this. So where would you rate this?
Where would I rate that? The Belly Bolt is Wakeman?
No, Wakeman is the neon sign next to the Mandibuzz.
Oh.
Belly
Oh,
Bolt
that
is Mario, yeah.
Oh. I'd probably stick it like I guess I'd stick it after like it's definitely in B+ tier is what I'm thinking. I'm basically deciding if it's before or after Comb. Say that again?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. I would say it's I mean, I personally think Comb's like combos are really scary, so I would put it, I think, in between Comb and the one below.
Okay. I think this is worse than
definitely
Ed's,
range
personally.
You think it's worse than this?
Ed's. I think Ed's is better. I like Ed's more.
I could see. I could buy that.
I'm also fine with this, if you're fine with this.
If you feel strongly about moving it down, I don't know. Like
I don't feel strongly.
It's just like inherently scary.
Is there anything else you'd want to change? While we're on this
about,
page.
Yeah, I feel fine about these rankings. Again, it's cool to see everyone's teams. It's cool to see like how, especially since this is such a big draft, like people are gonna get sniped and things are gonna go wrong. So it's cool to see how all the teams came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are my.
All right, I think we're done. We'll call it here. I'll start the recording and I'll do some editing later. I might be able to shave like a whole 8 minutes off this recording.
Woo-hoo!
We went for 3 hours 33 minutes.
Awesome.
It's been a while. I think it's because we took our time with each team, a lot more in depth than most PRs are. All right.
It's like a good thing.
Yeah. But... 07 Logan, thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for watching, everybody. Happy seasons. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Good luck, everyone. Bye.